Everybody is Dee. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into some things. I hope you're ready, cause this is what I do. It's all about different perspectives in here. Where you gon' get the real, no BS in here. We keep it real as we can. You can tell your truth and feel comfortable here. These reactions, videos and lives, these reactions. She's about to put on a show. These reactions, just to let you know, like, share, subscribe. We about to go live. It's DeeDee's reactions. Keep it real, keep it these reactions. What you gon' do? DeeDee's reactions. We about to go live. Subscribe. We about to go live. It's DeeDee's reactions. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Welcome to the show. Everybody is Dee. I'm glad you're here. Let's get into some things. I hope you're ready, cause this is what I do. It's all about different perspectives in here. Where you gon' get the real, no BS in here. We keep it real as we can. You can tell your truth and feel comfortable here. These reactions, videos and lives, these reactions. She's about to put on a show. These reactions, just to let you know, like, share, subscribe. We about to go live. It's DeeDee's reactions. Keep it real, keep it these reactions. What you gon' do? DeeDee's reactions. We about to go live. Subscribe. We about to go live. It's DeeDee's reactions. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh. Ooh, ooh.
What up, YouTube? It's your girl DeeDee. Welcome back to another live stream. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are doing well. I did not realize it was Friday. Yesterday I thought it was Wednesday. I didn't know yesterday was Thursday, y'all. But anyway, happy Friday. Welcome to the Friday live stream. I hope you guys are doing well. Thank y'all so much for being here once again. Listen, as you come into the building, make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you thumbs up as you come into the building. Make sure you guys are doing that. Also, put a 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me perfectly fine. 1 in the chat if y'all can hear me perfectly fine. So I won't be rambling and you can't even hear me. So make sure you guys hit the like button as you come into the building, y'all. Listen, if you are new to the channel and you like the content, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. It's free to subscribe. That way you'll be, and also turn on your notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content or go live as well. So listen, also, I would love for you guys to support the channel in any way possible. Share, likes. If you are feeling generous and you want to support via Super Chat or Cash App, you can do that as well. That definitely helps the channel out. So make sure you are doing that. Listen, we're going to go through this live pretty quickly. I don't want to keep y'all too long. I want to go over what Kraig had to say in regards to the whole to Anton Daniels and the Corey Holcomb, fiasco. I want to play what Kraig had to say, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So make sure you are chiming in the chat as well. Shout out to everybody in the building. Shout out to everybody watching. I hope you guys are having a great day. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to address women and men because sometimes the women say I leave them out. I don't address them, but I do want to give a shout out to the women who support my channel just as much as the men do. I appreciate all of you, everybody. So thank y'all so much for supporting and rocking with me. Make sure if you're in the building, well, if you're in, I don't know what I'm saying, make sure. Shout out to everybody in the building, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So we're gonna hop right into it. I want to pull up the clip of that's all over social media. This Anton and Corey Holcomb video has gone viral. It's everywhere. Everybody is constantly talking about it, y'all. It is all over. People are giving their different perspectives on it. I see everybody. Like I said, I see people turning it into a political thing. So if this was the intention, if this was Anton's intentions, it definitely worked out. But at the same time, I saw some people saying that this was a missed opportunity, that they could have, these two successful men, black men at that, could have shown things in a better light. Would it have gotten the same amount of views and stuff? I don't know. It could have. But once again, we all know, and we all know that the internet and in life, everything thrives off of negativity. If you sit down and do positive videos all day, you might not get any views. When there's negativity, controversy, when people are going at it, people love that because it's entertaining for some reason. I think it's rather a toxic way to live, in my opinion. And I do think that's because a lot of us, I'm not going to say the majority, but a lot of us, and I'm not saying just black people in general, people thrive and on negativity. You know, people don't even like when you speak positive sometimes. It's like, oh, the positivity, you kind of ignore it and brush it off. But when it's negative, people gravitate to negativity more. That's why it sells. That's why this type of entertainment is entertainment. You know, things that are positive don't get as much scrutiny or support or anything. You know, it's like, oh, that's boring. People think positive things are boring and wonder why we have so many women when it comes to relationships who say, oh, a man is boring. Oh, he's corny. Oh, there's no action behind him, because people thrive on negativity. It's something, I don't know why that is, but that is what sells. You know, if when you, and especially in our communities, it's like we run to that type of stuff. This is why we are all talking about it. This is why I'm talking about it. Everybody's talking about it because it gets more attention. You know what I mean? And that's it's beneficial to you in one way, but in another way, I don't believe that it is. And so, I heard what is her channel name? I can't think of, but she was saying that this could have been a epic moment, that it could have been, something great, something better, to have these two successful black men sit down and have a conversation and point out some things and have a discussion, as opposed to coming, almost coming to blows, but this is the nature of the beast. This is what it is. And we all know that negativity sells. This is the stuff that people like to see. That, people don't really want a resolution, because a resolution would means what? And I'm not saying everybody, but some people don't, they want to keep the drama filled rants going. You want to keep the negativity going because it is entertaining. And then when we don't have a solution, people are asking, where's the solution? How will you fix the problem? I don't think too many people are interested in that. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm gonna go ahead and pull up the clip to what Kraig was saying. Shout out to Kraig Facts. And then we're gonna keep it moving, y'all.
Do your thing, man.
Oh, man. Fuck Anton. Texas sharpshooter fallacy. That was a great exhibition of a Texas sharpshooter fallacy last night on 5150, done by Antoine. Now, I say in recent history, the greatest exhibition of a Texas sharpshooter fallacy was the Cat Williams interview on Shannon Sharp. What is a Texas sharpshooter fallacy? As I eat this apple. A Texas sharpshooter fallacy is when a person paints a narrative around a situation as their argument, and they frame the narrative, and they take a shot, right? They pose an argument and they frame a narrative around the argument so they can seem accurate. Follow me. Again, Texas sharpshooter fallacy is when somebody poses an argument and they frame a narrative around the argument to make it seem like what they're saying is accurate. All right, look that up so you can follow me. We with, okay, so bam. Last night was a cavalcade of illogical fallacy. You had two men who have opposing opinions, both have justified opinions to feel it whatever way they want to feel. Antoine being a conservative, pushing the narratives he has the right to do it. Corey being who Corey is, being a comedian with a comedic point of view. That's what a lot of people who are political don't understand about a comic. A comic's political point of view view is personal. It's not political. So it's a personal point of view based on life experiences, and it's your interpretation of the world through your view. When you have somebody that's political, their worldview is really a microcosm of whatever political party they're subservient to. So that was the dichotomy. That was the difference. That was the minute difference in the messaging that was coming from both brothers. Corey is speaking his comedic point of view, his comedic point of view versus a political point of view. See, in politics, they always try to make the party's agenda supersede the individuals. If I was on the show, once I sensed that Antoine was speaking in Texas sharpshooter fallacy, I would have ended the show or stopped the conversation, because now I understand that he has an agenda, and his agenda is not based in logic. It's based in a narrative. You understand what I'm saying? So that's the difference. People who operate and build from a narrative or within a narrative will not allow you to shadow that narrative, because that's the only thing they have to anchor themselves in a debate or a conversation.
Okay, so far, what do y'all think about what Kraig is saying? I think he's making some really good points that a lot of people dismissed, in a sense. They didn't get. But I think he is onto something with that. So what's y'all thoughts on what he's saying? Because I think he's making a lot of sense, in my opinion. Let's continue.
So you have to understand the agenda when you're in these types of situations. So Corey handled himself well, because I know Corey, right? Corey is, if any disrespect, he's about that action. You know what I'm saying? So, but when somebody's running a play, you can't just be about that action, because if they're running a play, you can actually be carrying out somebody else's agenda by standing on something that's connected to your principles. Because when somebody studies you, they understand your principles, and they base the narrative around the triggers that would be markers inside the principles you have. For instance,
once again, I think Kraig is actually onto something. Anton, shout out to Anton Daniels, shout out to Corey Holcomb, shout out to Kraig Facts. But Anton said he studied him. So when somebody tells you that, I don't know if, and I know Corey heard it, but did he really hear it? When somebody says they study you, well, that's exactly what they're doing, and they know how to trigger you. They know what to say to get you riled up to fulfill their agenda. And maybe, who knows what the thought process was, but it definitely, if nothing else, hey, I could be wrong, but when you say you studied somebody, then I believe you. You studied them, so you knew what would trigger him, what to say, you know what I'm saying, to get a reaction. Now, we can argue who was right, who was wrong. We could say both were wrong. We could say both were right. We could say Corey started it by calling him, saying what he said, and then Anton matched his energy, and I believe in matching energies too, because sometimes if you just let somebody talk to you crazy and you don't do nothing, then they just think you're a sucker, and they could just talk to you any old kind of way. So I think you should let a person know what it is. But if somebody said they studied you, then they pay attention to what your moves, what trigger you, how you respond, all this kind of stuff to get a reaction out you to fulfill their agenda. Maybe the agenda was to pull his card, to trigger him, to, to bring out that in him, to be able to respond in the way that Anton is responding now, by saying, hey, I showed up. I told you to your face you was this, because you knew that maybe he knew that would trigger him by him studying him, by his own admission. And that would get a reaction, and it will work in your favor. Because now you can say, oh, he a real, he ain't really about that life. He ain't do shit. You know what I mean? The things that Anton has responded to. If you study somebody, you study them for a reason, especially if you show up to present yourself to them for a debate or whatever, back and forth, then you are going with an agenda. You are going to approach them. And of course, you're going to use the studies. You're going to use what you've studied on that person. What's the point? It's like studying for a test. I'm not studying just to be studying. I'm studying for the test. So then you study, and then you go out to implement what you've studied. So yeah, it makes sense. Let's continue.
If you're a Christian or if you don't agree with a homosexual lifestyle, they will say things. It's called a dog whistle in politics. They will say things that trigger you and evoke a response that makes it seems like you're being emotional. That's why Antoine started being very direct and started being very accusational, because he was trying to trigger Corey. And it worked for a bit, but Corey caught herself and handled herself like a G. I hope they can get back together and do it more, because at the end of the day, what we need in our community is not niggas that want to be right. We need niggas that want to push an intellectual agenda that furthers the common consciousness of everybody black. Do your research on most cult leaders or most dictators or most people who rose to power and did some absolutely heinous things. These are people who willed their way into that position and dealt with a lot of rejection. So when you're dealing with somebody that has an agenda, they will sacrifice the greater good of themselves, so one day they can position themselves to be able to tell you what to do and run your life. I'm telling you, you can't stop you can't just come with the buster bitch nigga talk, hoe nigga talk, rat, coon talk. You have to understand what's going on completely, even if it don't match how you feel. If somebody is dealing in narratives and speaking in fallacy, they're trying to evoke emotion to make you seem hypocritical and control people's view of you. But it ain't over though. I hope it ain't over. Man, look, man, it's so many great things that come from niggas putting their differences to the side and saying, okay, nigga, all right, let's do what we gotta do now. Let's get back to the agenda. I already know Corey's thing is helping black people, helping black women and young men see the light. I don't know much about Antoine, but he says some things. I mean, we need that type of niggas shouldn't be scared of a little bit of conflict. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. That's what this shit is about. Every movement has conflicts, man. But respectfully, niggas, like, at the end of the day, two niggas standing on business, they stand on business. It is what it is. Now, I was all the way at station 1640 in Hollywood. Look up station 1640 in Hollywood. I had a show that started at 10, right? I'm on my way from my crib. It's about 9:05. I turn on the show. They arguing. I hear the dude say my name and call me a yes man, right? Then I see it getting heated. I pull up to my show. I say, you know what? Fuck that. I'm going to the studio. So I drive from Hollywood to Pasadena, nigga. I wasn't supposed to be there. Hopped the gate. When I pulled up, I blocked the entrance so he couldn't get out. I hopped the gate, but he was already gone. He was already out of there. So I pulled up, had a couple homies tucked in the corner, waiting on that action, boss. I pulled up, you know what I'm saying? What's up, man, line? And then I got my ass back to my show. So let me tell you something, man, about this comedy game, man. I'm a comedian. I got my own career. I push my own line. I got things I want to accomplish for me and my family that have nothing to do with 5150. I'm a part of 5150. I'm a diehard 5150 guy. But when I heard Antoine attacking the brand, I didn't appreciate that, man. We talking about a legend in Corey Holcomb that sacrificed a lot and experiences a lot of controversy for having the heart to speak how he feels regardless of what people think about it. You know what I'm saying? So when that nigga said I was just happy to be here, I laughed, because look, I'm a comedian. Anybody that really do comedy know Corey Holcomb is one of them niggas. It's an honor to do 5150. I'm not on 5150 to make it my show, nigga. That's Corey's show, nigga. I'm there to be a compliment, you weird ass nigga. But I love to debate you. You gotta play your position on whatever team you on. It's called alignment, exactly. You can't be out of alignment and call yourself a man. It don't work like that. I got my own ship I'm building right here. I got my own studio I'm sitting in right the fuck now, nigga. I ain't no status driven nigga where I feel like I gotta step in every situation and make it my shit and dominate. That's some whole shit to me. I mean, but you know, I pulled up because I wanted to have that conversation face to, and I had never really heard of dude. I seen him online and shit here and there, but I really don't follow dude like that. I didn't know what he was on. When Corey said he was gonna have him on the show, I didn't know nothing about the dude. We don't got nothing in common. You know what I'm saying? But he wants to smoke, he can get it. I want to debate. Come on, Kraig facts, man. I'll kill you off. Yeah, man, we gotta understand, man, when something is agenda-based and something is based in illogic, you gain nothing from giving that attention as far as your emotion is concerned. Once somebody is speaking illogic, you gotta let them have that. The hardest thing is for us to just let it go. You know what I'm saying? Because it triggers us. People who ain't on shit know how to trigger people in order to gain their attention. Men, you go through this all the time with scumbag bitches. You know, you do everything right for a chick, and then once you don't do one thing right, you all kind of bitch ass niggas, and you ain't shit, and you got a little dick, and you know how I get. That's the same type of shit. But yeah, man, that was an interesting thing. I got so many calls and so many. Look, I don't crash out for nobody. So even me pulling up last night wasn't no crash out. I'm my own motherfucking man. You know what I'm saying? I don't crash out, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. You feel me? So respect is number one. You know what I mean? I got a family. Nigga, I got places to go in life. We all got limited time. You feel me? You know, so, you know, stick to your shit, man. You know, it was a bunch of the ad hominem was very present. That's when instead of sticking to the argument, somebody focuses on a flaw. You know what I mean? So it was very agenda based. Shout out to Corey, Anton. Y'all need to run that back. Run it back with me if you like. I would love to do that. Man called Corey racist. Right. You can't be racist if you're not white. I mean, that's a power structure thing. But look, this is why Neely Fuller said black people shouldn't even be around each other. We shouldn't even be around each other until black people shouldn't even be around each other unless they understand white supremacy. That's why you need to buy that United Compensatory Code Book and Guidebook by Neely Fuller so you can get a better understanding of the 9 principles of racism. And sex is one of them.
All right. He said a lot. He said a lot. What did y'all think about what he had to say? Do y'all agree with him saying that you can't be racist if you're black? Let me know in the chat, because I heard somebody else kind of mention that. What do y'all think about that? Can you be racist if you're black? Let me know your thoughts on that. Now, listen, Kraig ain't crazy. I think Kraig knows exactly what he's talking about. Once again, I've seen people, kind of dismissing what he had to say. I think he made a lot of good points. I really do. And I think, by hearing Anton, and once again, shout out to Anton, saying he studied him, you studied him for a reason. And, I think once again, there was an agenda. That's what I was kind of asking, because I'm wondering, because it kind of seemed like that. Successful MD says there's a video of Anton paying whites $1 for hugs, baby. Lord have mercy. Thank you, Successful MD. That I don't think I needed that information, but it is what it is. Listen, I have a couple of more videos I want to share with y'all, because I don't want to talk fully on the Kraig thing, but I do want to get y'all's response. I want to hear your thoughts on it. So I put the link at the top of the chat. I dropped it early because I want to get your thoughts. If you want to join the panel, make sure you have to be cammed up. So you have to be cammed up. So cam up if you want to give your thoughts on the whole situation at hand. I'm gonna go ahead and drop that for you. It's pinned to the top of the chat if you want to join, but you have to be cammed up. You just got to be cammed up. That's it. We're gonna get into that first. I'm gonna do a little bit differently, and then I have a couple of more clips I want to share with y'all, and I want to get y'all thoughts on it. But what's going on, Classy? How are you?
I'm all right. Just woke up. How's it going?
You just woke up?
Yeah. I gotta get my hair and stuff together and go get a haircut. But I just wanted to speak on that situation, and this is why I kept trying to tell people that it was a calculated chess move by Anton. Like I said, as they were getting into the conversation and I saw the direction that Corey was going, I'm like, it sounds to me that, when he said, oh, you kissed the A of white people.
Yeah.
That was the energy that started for me. And then Anton reciprocated that same energy. You S the D of black people, in which he was currently, I thought he was right about that. And I like Corey Holcomb, but when you get that energy off, one thing that kind of got me was that I was thinking to myself, like, okay, Anton gave you the same energy. What the hell you get up today? Dude, you're almost 60 years old. Why are you getting up into this man's face for reciprocating the same energy that you threw at him? Now, if you wanted to talk about quote unquote white people, there's about 120 million of them in freaking United States. What white person do you want to talk about? He should have came out with the specifics. Who do you want to talk about? Because you can talk about any white person in the world that you want to. It seemed like he was trying to appeal to black people with this whole pro-black thing. Anton caught on to it. That's why he gave him the same energy. When they got into that first argument, And when he said, no, don't call me gay, that stuff can get you dangerous. Corey, you're almost 60 years old, dude. Why do you have to feel that you have to get into somebody else to prove that you are not a homosexual? It doesn't make any sense. And why are you trying to prove to black people that you are so down and so black? My brother, if you're going to go at Anton about white people, let's talk about your city of Chicago, who had black mayors that were raping taking the black community's tax-based money, giving it to the immigrants. You haven't said anything about that, good sir. So let's just stop this whole pro-black and I'm such a man. That was a 90s way of thinking. See, that's how those dudes start back in the 90s. And Corey Holcomb's mindset is back there. Dude, you're a comedian. What you do is good. But Anton was playing with him. Even after the argument, Anton kept probing at him, kept prodding him. I said, he's messing with him. He's going to get him upset again. What you're saying, that stuff can be dangerous. Corey, stop it. Chicago is not the only dangerous place in America. You're the most publicized city in America, like LA and the rest of them. DJ Quick made a song a long time ago, said, hey, it's just like Compton. When he was going on his tours, he made a song about that. Even Snoop said, y'all get it twisted. Don't think y'all are we're the only place that can get down. Even these little small cities can get down. But the opposite of that, let's just stop for a second and say hypothetically, if Corey would have hit him. Bad business move, player.
Yeah,
this is why I said you were not going to hit him, because if you would have hit Anton, remember, from a business perspective, Anton could have sued you. YouTube could have took your platform down. Darlene, you and Kraig could have lost money.
Yeah.
But see, the problem was what I got from Corey. It's so I can't tell him how to feel, but you were putting on for people to watch this, to see a fight. You wasn't thinking about your business, brother.
You know, and I hear what you're saying, but I don't completely agree. I think, I think Anton came with an agenda. You're absolutely right about that. He was playing with him. Oh yeah, I agree with that. But I don't, in a sense, I think when you study somebody and you're coming with an agenda, you got a purpose to do. So you didn't come there in good faith to just have the conversation and that's it. You came with a tactic to egg him on, to start whatever. And I don't think that's what you should be doing, knowing that Corey, if you studied him, if he studied him, knowing that he could put him in that position to look the way he looked. You knew that calling him a D sucker was going to trigger him, because Corey talks about homosexuality and all that, and a lot of people in the industry who are down low and all of that, and they be in your face, and some of your favorites are, getting it in, fooling with men. He adamantly talks against that. I personally don't think that he's gay. I don't.
But we all know he's not. So it's like,
so that's a tactic to use, but we know that that's a triggering subject for him, because he don't want to be associated with being gay. I mean, he clearly talks a lot about it. So if you study somebody and you got an agenda, well, of course you're going to come with the very things that is going to trigger this dude to put him. It's like putty playing. You playing with putty in your hands. You know exactly how to move to trigger him. So to me, when you have that agenda going to another person, that takes points away, because you're not there with the right intentions. You're not going there to have the conversation about whatever it is. I don't even know what their disagreement.
Do you see my point right there, DeeDee? None of us really knew, because we were so fixated on what started it. You got to remember, Corey took the first blow. That's why Anton triggered him back. If you're going to say, I'm kissing the A of white people,
right?
He was firmly in the right to say, okay, if you want to go that route, then I'm going to go back at you. That is a chess move. But that's the first domino on the table.
Saying you a D sucker straight to your face, like to a man, another man.
Okay, even if you said, let's just say hypothetically, DeeDee, if you called me that and we got into an argument, I know I am not that. Right. Why am I going to get up in your face and have a contingency to mess my business up? You could have just said, well, if you're going to have that energy, man, why don't you just leave off my show?
I mean, that would have been the most logical, smart way to go about it. But
when you hear him talk, and I don't mean to interrupt you by any means, when you hear Corey talk, this is a dangerous game. This is Corey, stop, man. You're not going to get into those situations. Dude, you got you got money to be made, you got a business. It's kind of like saying what I know this is a crazy analogy. When you bring up Jerry Heller, when Easy E talked about he really was going to go delete Suge Knight. That was true.
Oh Lord. Yeah.
Jerry pulled him to the side. He said, no, you can't handle it like that. You got to handle it business-wise. That's why on that song when he said, well, Dre Day always makes Eazy's payday, because everything Dre made during the Chronic, Eazy got paid off of. He was still under contract. He said, no, you go after the money. You don't go into what you're used to going into, which is in the hood.
But I didn't take it, you know, when he said it could get dangerous, I didn't take it that he is the one who could make it dangerous. That's the thing. A lot of times when I took it as he's just telling him, when you approach a person in that way by saying that, anybody, you know, telling another man he sucked, that's very disrespectful. So that it could get bad. You need to have security. Stop doing that, because everybody is not going to respond in the way that I'm responding. I took it as because he said I'm not tough. I don't think he said it in the sense, and I could be wrong, but that's how I took it. That he
and that's right.
But remember, and I come from the hood too, so I know that if you have somebody who makes it out the hood and they're successful, but they have attachments and they have connections to hood shit and hood people, they have that backing. You have the support of the hood still. So when they know you're not going to be the one who makes the moves, if you know what I'm saying.
Right.
That people behind the scenes see what's going on and they can make moves. That's why I said the other day, you know, when they talk about goons, you have goons in the hood that support you. They don't have nothing to lose. You don't present yourself as the threatening. I took it as he was just saying, look, you don't do that. That could be some bad consequences. Not saying that he gonna jump on and beat him up, because clearly he didn't do that. But he's saying people not thinking, wait a minute, you don't know the support and the people who you got on the backhand that don't have nothing to lose, and they could act up on some shit that you got to say, hey, hold up, don't do that. That's
right. And I agree with that. But also what Corey doesn't understand is, sir, you're not the only one that can reciprocate that same energy. Because we don't know who Anton knows too. But at the same time, what I'm saying, we're talking about two grown men with big platforms.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is take it to that route.
Yes, I agree. No, I agree. I don't think this social media stuff should ever go to that. It's not worth it.
And D, I know you know this, but what I'm saying is the people on the internet, they're gonna route it on, woo, fight. That's and it's like, that's true. Y'all grown, man. Like y'all really want to see these men fight.
Right.
Because we got to take in consideration.
Yeah.
And I'll bring up his name, Mr. Sotomayor. You know who I'm talking about.
Yes.
He started off good, but it got so bad that YouTube had no choice but to get rid of him.
Right.
So, I mean, at that time when he was on top, I'm saying he's still on. But what I'm saying is, if Corey was to take it that route, you jeopardizing your business, man. It's not worth it. You should have just told Anton, let's just call it off. It's not working. Go about your business. Because once you start doing all the people on the other side is like, yeah, show them how you are for the black. Stop. That's my opinion, but okay.
Right. C. Irving, thank you for the super chat. Says Kraig Facts got a point about Anton using rage baiting tactics and gaslighting Corey. Thank you, C. Irving. I appreciate you for the super chat. Thank you so much for being here. Shell Shock, is that it?
Yes, it is, man.
Nice to meet you. What's your thoughts on the whole situation?
Yeah, I think Corey pretty much exposed himself real quick by being very emotional and couldn't even have a real conversation with Anton. He got to realize, like, I think he did his homework on Anton as well, because it seemed like his whole point was to try to expose Anton by kissing white folks' asses. And that's a total shot of disrespect right there. And I don't know why people don't see that as the same thing as Anton saying, you sucking on the dicks of black people. It's pretty much the same thing. So I just look at it like he got in his chest real quick. Like, you a comedian, like, it's no way in hell you should have got in your chest, and all he did was just come right back at you. Like, we from the Midwest, like, we jaw on each other. We rib each other. So if he doing the same thing that you doing, why is you getting in your chest about it? So he just pretty much just made himself look real weak on that. That's how I feel about it.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah. I mean, look, it is what it is. It was just messy all the way around, I would say. you know.
And trust me, I have my things about Anton. He's not totally innocent. I've seen his shows, and
Yeah,
I've gotten on him, and I used to get on him for going at Q and Slimmy. I said, dude, on this topic, you're wrong, dude.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying too. It's like I said it yesterday. I think yesterday I said it yesterday. You know, it's like the pot calling the kettle black in a situation. I follow Anton. You know, like I said, I've spoken to Anton. I've did the Corey Holcomb show, and so it's no personal. See, I don't have no issues. I ain't in no that ain't my thing. Especially
Right.
I ain't got nothing, no skin in the game at all when it comes to that. I'm just giving my opinion. But so I think they're both talented. They both do well. But you know, sometimes I think you could get caught up in yourself and you don't see yourself. And I think that both could do that. Both of them probably do. I've seen it with Anton for sure. You know, and he has people who actually called him out for the same things he's calling Corey out. That's all I'm saying.
They're
But,
basically both sides of the coin, both
yeah.
hypocrites of this coin, if you want to be technically honest. But when we
Yeah,
talk about this situation, I was just like,
Yeah.
nah, Corey.
Yeah, because I think it could have been a real good conversation if Kraig was there. I think it would have been a dope conversation. And
Right.
also, I think that Mika should have been allowed on that show too, because all he was doing was trying to expose Mika a little bit more, who got her own platform as well.
Yeah.
And the way that Corey went about that was totally out of pocket. Like he started calling her all types of bitches and everything. Man, this your bitch, because she thinking like Anton is cheating or whatever with Mika. She ain't nothing but another part of his platform or whatever. He just trying to promote the people that he got underneath his wing. That's like if he would have brought Slimmy or Q there. You know what I'm saying? Like it was just weird to me how Corey acted about that. Like it was, and I mess with both of them tough. You know what I'm saying? I'm down with the 5150, and I mess with Anton. I watch the Millionaire Morning Show every single day. Like that's one of my favorite shows to get through work. Like they both dope individuals. I could have swore it was gonna be a dope conversation. I was ready for it.
Me too.
So to see it go down the way that it went down, that was real weird to me. Like this could go way further. It could be actually a lot more educational or whatever if people can see two perspectives, you know what I'm saying, come together. You got the street guy, then you got the guy who in the corporate world. Like that was a dope mixture. So so it to go down the way it went down, it just didn't make no sense to me, which it makes our community look bad, like we can't get along with certain things or we have a disagreement. Because like when Anton said that he was a Republican, that's where everything kind of went to the side, and now everybody want to expose Anton about you kissing white people ass. It's like, why we can't have different opinions and everything still be respectful?
Exactly, sir. What's your name again?
Shell Shock.
Shell Shock. This is what I try to tell black people. Everybody that's black is not a monolith. We're not all gonna have the same opinions and thoughts just because we came out of the hood. There's gonna be that dude that want to, chunk up the deuces and trays, but there's also gonna be the other dude in the hood that like to figure out a Rubik's Cube and like to watch anime.
Facts. So it just seems like, because I go through the same thing on my platforms or whatever. Like I make a couple posts like what's going on now, or whatever with the state of emergency, what's going on in the US. I have my own opinion. Like I voted a different way than what people actually think I am, and I get called the same thing like what Anton was called. So I understand exactly why he, said respond the way he did, because everybody think that's just cool. Like, okay, well, we could just call you a coon or Sambo or Jigaboo or whatever, and think that's cool. That's disrespect to us as well. So it's like you can't take your shots and then get mad because somebody takes something disrespectful, but then you want them to respect your boundaries about what you think is disrespectful.
It's kind of like watching that old movie, The Inkwell, with Lorenz Tate, where Dwayne Martin's father was the conservative out of Martha's Vineyard. He didn't agree with Lorenz Tate's father, who was a stone cold Black Panther.
Yeah,
and we all different, man. That's what it is. Like this shows how it's so difficult for us to actually come unified. Because if we can't all just think the same way about the same thing, you got to have different aspects and perspectives in order to make things work. For we can actually see what actually for all of us. If we all just looking at it one way, it's not gonna work. All right, but let me get up out of here real quick.
Your sound got low.
Yeah, it got real low.
You got real low. We can't hear the last little part you said. But I hear what you're saying. We can't hear you.
It's kind of hard to hear you.
It's Eric TV.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah. Go ahead. Say
Okay.
something.
Yeah, my fault. It was I got a phone call coming through or whatever. I had to hurry up and cancel that real quick.
Well, yeah, I get.
I'm on screen with DD.
Shout out to you.
And this is like with me and DeeDee, we have different opinions about this. Doesn't mean I don't like DeeDee.
No, I mean, that is crazy. That's the thing that I always say. Look, I always say, we don't always, nobody's going to agree on every single thing. And that's why you can't take it personally. If anything, I think it's better I'll try to understand your perspective. Like, tell me something to try to not like make me change my point of view. Because if I'm staunch on what I believe, that's what I believe. But if you can give me a different perspective on it and make me think about it, I think that's great. I'm not gonna, get to cussing you out because you don't want to. Because what you're trying to do is convince somebody that your way is the right way.
All right,
that's what it is. When you're trying to convince somebody who has a different perspective, that they need to come to listen to what you're saying because your way is right and your way is better. When I don't think one way is better, if you have a certain belief and it works for you and it's beneficial to you, then that's what works for you.
Right.
It may not work for the other person because they have a different agenda. They have something different going on. So how they believe and how they move, even down to how you vote, that has everything to do with your beliefs and the direction you're going. Everybody is not the same. So we're not going to all agree and believe the same things, but I'm not going to be pissed at you because of it. Okay, well, that's your beliefs. I can't change that. And that's that.
Right, DeeDee. It's like when you talked about voting when we had our last election. I was like, how come nobody didn't vote? You can make the argument the man is old, Cornel West. A lot of people said they didn't want to vote for him because he was married to a white woman. Okay, but we all gathered together to go for Kamala, who was actually married to a white man. That's where my disagreement came in from. I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
But people got their own opinions on how they want to go, and I respect it. I said, okay.
Right. Yoix Eric TV, thank you for the super chat. Says, yes, I am dislike every color equality. He says, just kidding, LOL. Let me read this next super chat and then I want y'all to chime in because I hate to miss them. What's going on? How are you guys?
Doing real good.
Good. Thank you so much for being here. Shoot, come on. Where is the damn? I'm sorry, y'all. Quentin says, did somebody say Q? What's going on, Quentin? Shout out to you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for the super chat. He said, did somebody say Q? Who said Q?
I did when I was talking about the disagreement.
Oh my God.
I said it earlier. I said the disagreement. I said I disagree with Anton when Q and Slimmy said, it seems like you always side with the women. I said, yeah, Q and Slimmy is right. We see it. Even the people on his platform called him out on it.
I saw that too. I spoke about it yesterday. I said that too. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the super chat, Q. I appreciate you. And Successful MD says, how when Anton went for a different motive? I guess he's asking. Thank you, Successful MD. Mr. Research, what's your thoughts on all of this?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
So here's the thing. We're dealing with, first of all, I don't like neither one of them, to be honest.
Okay.
But here's the thing. That was supposed to be your intellectualism versus his intellectualism. That was supposed to be your well-read talking points versus his. The problem that our Black male community has, we have a problem with outthinking each other. So we just run to the physical and the insults. That's how the gunplay comes into everything. And like I tell people out here in Cali, you ain't really scared of any man. It's his friends that's going to back up his nonsense. That's the problem. I.e. Kraig got a text from Glasses Malone to run over there, and you run over there with a bunch of dudes. What? To fight one dude? What? Where's the honor in that? So let's start right there. And then we try to clean it up with, hey, he didn't have to go to that level. You didn't have to insult the dude in the first place. Just outthink him.
Right.
That's all you got to do is outthink him. I don't really like panels, but I've been on there with Anton. When I say certain things, Anton doesn't reply because I'm going to eat him up because I research a lot. No pun intended. So I'm a conservative, but I'm not out here trying to just carry the mayonnaise man's water either. You know, I'm a conservative based on policy, not on party. I'm not a Republican, and I'm not a Democrat. I do stuff based on policy.
My man.
So it's harder for him to deal with a person like me or people who research a lot or is well spoken. Let me put it like that. And I'm gonna pass the mic by saying this here. When you a dude that's loud talking and trying to pop off all the bruh, everybody ain't with that. Everybody ain't with that. So let's see how much you want to do this. So when he said sucking, it's the same equivalent of kissing. Don't try to hood dudes gotta stop trying to make it seem like one is a lighter insult. They both are insults. And again, I do not like Anton like that, but I gotta be fair. It's a discussion. Beat that dude based on what you know. And then last point, stop jumping around topics, Corey. If the dude is beating you on one thing, don't jump over here and then jump over there and then jump over here, and now you're getting louder and louder. So that's what I don't understand, man. There was no honor in that, regardless of what people on the block think.
Mm-hmm.
Gotcha.
He exposed his hand. Corey exposed his hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I would like to throw something in there as well, because the brother in the middle said that he spoke to Anton in the past, and I do think as well it depends on because as we were saying earlier, Anton was studying him. So if Anton was studying you, he will know what to respond to you and say. You know, if your thing is, I don't know, children, then hypothetically he might say, oh, you know, you mess with children, you know. And it's just funny to me, he knew exactly what to respond with. You know, I'm not saying Corey's right for saying what he said. And sure, maybe it can be both the same equivalent. I don't think it is personally, you know, but he knew exactly what to respond with, to rage him and continue with. You know, I'm not gonna hit someone if they're calling me, you know, D, Essen, but it's different if me and the person are face to face and they're saying it, and then they're saying it, you know, and
let me make this quick suggestion to you, and I'm gonna let you finish. That's the difference between a hustler and somebody doing it as a career. The career person is studying from a professionalism point of view, and they thinking beyond being on DeeDee's platform.
Well, I do believe Corey studies
because he is just getting a bag where he can and having Darlene be the real brains behind the thing. Dun, 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 dun. Look, Scooby, a clue.
Well, I do think Corey does study as well, because when he had DeeDee on, he studied her. When he had River on, he studied her. When he had other people on, he studied them. But he didn't study them in a way to say, oh, you're this or you're that. You know what I mean? And I think that, you know, Anton probably watched what Corey's about. He's like, okay, cool.
I disagree with that. I think he studied Anton as well, which is the reason why he wanted to try to expose Anton for kissing white folks' ass.
Okay.
You know what you're saying to certain people in order to get certain people triggered. So when somebody else studying you, they know what to get you triggered with. So it was a fair exchange to me.
Okay.
I just think that when it comes to like that dick sucking like thing that he had said, I just look at it as a metaphor, because all he pretty much is saying, you kissing black folks' asses right now, you pandering to black people. It's pretty much the same thing.
It's pretty the same thing. Yeah.
My only thing though with that is when Corey, they shook hands, because they shook hands and said, we cool. He was like, and Corey explained to this only, and maybe because I'm a woman, it's coming from a woman's perspective. Okay, we got to keep, because I don't know how y'all think differently.
No, go in, D.
I'm not dismissing it. Trust me, I'm just giving my womanly opinion.
Go ahead.
And so when he did, they said, oh, we cool. They shook hands, and he was like, that's a trigger for me. Corey was like, that's a trigger for me, man. I ain't with that dick. Yeah, that's stuck in stuff, He basically let him know it's a trigger for me. So, but Anton brought it back. And maybe it was done on purpose.
He didn't. No, he didn't. Corey the one who kept bringing it back up because he the one who kept on repeating it after they shook hands twice. Corey the one who kept on getting on that dick sucking, man. That triggers me. He was still on it. Anton tried to move on with the conversation.
But that's why I thought by him constantly, because when something triggers you, you might it's stuck in your head. Like you might keep saying it, like, man, I don't play with that. I don't play with that. But so do you think that gave Anton license to bring it back on his end to say it
but
again?
He didn't bring it back.
No,
he didn't bring it back.
Look,
that was Corey who was bringing it back. Corey the one
he didn't bring it back because
after they squashed it. Yeah, after they squashed it, he kept talking about it for the next 30 minutes.
But here's
that doesn't entitle someone to then it doesn't entitle someone to go then and proceed to bring it forward.
But here's the deal. Here's the deal.
If it's squashed, right?
It was strategic.
Yes.
Because what you're gonna do if you in law or you across from DeeDee in the boardroom and DeeDee keep bringing up something over and over again, you're gonna weaponize it.
Yeah.
You're gonna weaponize it. Yeah. So maybe say it 1 or 2 times, but when you're on your 3rd and 4th time, now I see it bother you. So now I'm going to say, well, I dissed you, which ain't a lie. And I am repeating what you just said, but now you fell into the trap. See, you dissing me again. No. Tap dance, tap dance, tap dance. I'm bringing up what you just kept bringing up.
Chess move.
But guess what? You put your foot in the mouse trap.
I mean, but if we're speaking in good faith, I mean, there shouldn't be any of this, in my opinion. When I'm speaking to someone in good faith, it's not about, checkmating you, unless we're having an actual debate. So I don't know, was it a debate or was it them?
At that point in time, you lost respect for them. At that point,
because I understood it as they were trying to talk about something, maybe a common point or a common goal.
Yeah, but
it's not a one-up type of thing.
Here's the thing: when you told Darlene to move, and you got up in my face, and you didn't swing on me, and I told you you ain't gonna do nothing. The podcast professionalism was over with.
Went out the window.
It was now about.
However, I'm talking about initially at the beginning. I'm asking you: is it a debate, or is it debate, or is it?
No, but you got to remember, it went out the door when he said, "You kissing white man." I mean, that's not a debate.
It was over at that point.
If I start talking about your hat, that has nothing to do with your talking points. That's an ad hoc.
I think one of the biggest issues that I have is sticking to the relevance of the conversation. So when the conversation was going on, things seem to have gone pretty smooth. And by the way, shout out to you, DeeDee. I haven't heard from you, seen you in a while. I haven't been on panels in a while on anyone. So appreciate you for bringing me up.
No problem. Good to see you.
One of the things that gets me the most is that very thing is that if we are talking about a particular subject or a matter, you ask me a question, as I'm beginning to answer and you go, because it's like, wait, you throwing it off. And every time you ask me something, if I'm coming at you with statistics or facts, and then you throw little insults in there, it's something that I teach my mentees. I always say, if you have nothing intellectually to say to rebuttal the facts or stats that I'm spewing out, they always result to insults or wanting to fight. It never fails. And I go and speak all over the United States. It always ends that way. Well, you a bad nigga anyway. It always goes that way, all because I'm spewing out my opinion or some facts, and your response is to want to get amped up or want to start calling out insults and everything like that. So I'm me and Corey from the same place. We actually spoke on the same stage a few times in Chicago, and I was actually a little surprised how Corey responded in that, because a lot of times us that came up in Chicago, we got this word, I think one of y'all mentioned earlier, called joning. We would joan on each other and roast each other all the time. So in doing so, I would have thought that we'd have built up a defense to, if somebody is insulting us, okay, you got it then. To me, I feel when you go that far into it, it lets me know I got the best of you. So when Corey got triggered by that, I was quite surprised. Like, wait a minute, Corey letting that right there get him, and you just got done saying you kissing the A of Caucasian men. So what ends up happening is that once somebody gets you in that point, is what I say like this. Once I seen that I drew blood, I can either capitalize on that and keep on going at that open wound of yours, or I can just sit back and let you keep on bleeding out and showing everybody that you're bleeding out. And to me, in my opinion, Corey did that. Whenever they squashed it, shook hands, somebody from the audience asked a question. When Anton answered that question from the audience, Corey was like, yeah. So, but anyway, all that D-sucking stuff was like, oh man, you hurt. That's and that's my Chicago brother. I'm like, it hurt him.
To it.
I hear what you're saying. Coach Kells, you want to chime in? And then
yeah, I hope you can hear me.
Yeah,
I'm
we can hear you.
from Gambia. I am from London, so I'm now living over here. I would like to say, D, you had the best response from when Anton said you sucked the dick out of black people. I have never seen anybody so shocked the way how you were. Now, what I saw was that nobody flinched when Corey said that you kiss white ass. Nobody did, because everybody is like, we are very much common to hearing that. But when the brother said you suck dick, now I wasn't thinking homosexuality. I was thinking, how dare you say something like, because if anyone said that to me, I'm coming after you.
Corey was.
But what I don't understand though is no one's really calling this out. That what he's really saying is you pander to black people, and he kept on saying they, they as in black people. That's what Anton, he kept on referring us to they. Now no one's calling that out. No one is saying that. It was as though Anton's not black. He's not African American, but no one is saying that, and that's the bit I'm not quite understanding. That is one thing to say you suck the dick out of black people, right? You suck dick, but hold on, you said black people. What you're saying is that you're pandering to black people. You're flipping black, bro. Like, what's going on? Of course, you should really be leaning towards your own people first. Then we now can talk about segregation.
And this is what I have an issue with on that note. It's like, we all know Anton is black, obviously, correct? So if everybody focuses on him always saying things about the black community, ain't that coming from a place where you actually care about what's actually being shown and how people actually acting? So if I actually
some don't see it that way.
I don't know about that. It's the same way like how it's the same way like how it is like when we speak about black women, like they get tired of us and think like it's a gender war. When we actually care about our black women, we just don't like them being shown in a certain light. But at the same time, they say that we hate black women. It's almost the same thing.
So I'm a conservative. Here's the answer to your question. Half of the conservatives are not really conservatives. They're Reaganites, which means that they get most of their talking points from the mayonnaise Republicans. They don't even know who. I've been on panels with Tatum back in the day, Brian Logan. Neither one of them knew how conservatism started or who started it. So you do get this demographic of people who say stuff just to give mayonnaise people an orgasm. Okay, that's real, and they are willing to do it just to get a bag. So I can't say that, but go ahead and finish your point.
Well, as in like me, finish my point. I am still up in the air why Anton's getting away with him saying basically to Corey, you're sticking up for your own people. He should be doing that. Now, in terms of the light of the discussion, then you can then talk about the points or maybe why you might disagree with what Corey's saying. But you don't disagree with them because he's sticking up for his own people. Like there's nothing wrong with him actually doing that. Now, you said about the way how black women are behaving. Hey, listen, I love watching these programs when she's talking about women as well as black women. Okay. And there is something called feminism that we know about. Yeah. It started not just from the suffragettes, but it went on to the 60s. We know the history of it, where women are behaving differently, not just our women, but women on a whole. Okay, so if I don't think it's the case to talk about people get upset because they talk about black women. That's not the case.
The reason I brought it up because like the same way, same way like how DeeDee talk about it is like they call her a pygmy.
Yeah,
which is pretty much almost the same thing. Like if a black man talk about the black community, they gonna call him a coon or all this.
I'm not interrupting anybody. Just let me land.
Yeah, go ahead, brother.
Just very quickly. I'm saying that Dee, when she talks about this, as well as other women, but I love the way how Dee does talk about it. She's talking about the behaviors and how things used to be, right, and how things are now. Okay, so she has something to compare with. Okay, so we can't really say that. I don't think that's a good example. I'm saying Corey's obviously talking about his feelings towards how white people are getting away, or they've gotten away with certain things. We know that there's a history from black codes to war with drugs and what we're seeing right now. We can talk about the whole lineage of it. Yeah, okay. I study black history. Yeah, be it if it's UK history, if it's African American history, if it's African history, or if it's Caribbean history. Yeah, okay. I study all of it, right? Whatever you guys are going through, I'm going through it as well. We see it on our news, but even up to now, you guys are still going through this shit, excuse my language, right? And it's brutality and it's awful. There's no problem with Corey saying what he's saying because these things are happening. But for Anton to turn around and say to her, you suck the dick out of black people, why aren't we railing up and saying, what the fuck are you talking about? Or what are you doing? Excuse my language. Like, what? Like, why would you say something as crazy as that?
He literally told him, he said, I'm matching your, Anton literally said, I'm going to match your energy. And he matched it.
No, but not by insulting me.
No, wait. No, this is what I'm saying. Okay, check this out. Like I said, I go on speaking engagements all the time. The minute, if we're up here and we're having like a really good discussion, the minute you start wanting to throw shots and insults at me, I'll call, oh, look, is this what we about to do now? So now I go back to that mind. So we about to roast each other now. Are we really trying to arrive to a conclusion? No? Oh, so we about to roast. Okay, well, then we'll roast each other. But then if I'm roasting and getting the best of you, it's the equivalence of somebody, I don't know if a lot of y'all know this. I'm pretty sure a lot of black folks do. It's the equivalent of you roast somebody, they go, yo, mama. Oh, now we got to throw hands because you said my mama now.
Yeah,
you know, it's like who taught you that when somebody says your mama, now it's time to throw hands. I get it. That's that hood street mentality. So it's
okay, but there's some insults that you don't say.
Like if you throw an insult at me, you smack me, and I punch you, and you go, that ain't fair. You shouldn't have punched me. No, the whole thing is you never should have put your hands on me.
Go ahead, House of Hypocrites. How are you?
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
The fact of the matter is, damn, I ain't gonna cuss because I like to cuss. The fact of the matter is that people are ignoring the passive aggressive cattiness of Anton when he first said the first thing he said, I was on time. That was the first shot. That was the first shot. Anton has passively aggressively said things to Corey Holcomb the whole time. Corey Holcomb was picking up that shit up off the floor. He was catching it and he was regurgitating it back to him. But now, when we get to the point of Corey Holcomb saying you kissing white folks' ass, oh, now he's the bad guy. But
yeah,
Anton
and that happens with men and women, bro. That happens with men and women. When you, as a man, get upset,
time was doing those subliminals. He was talking in parables. He was taking shots. Corey Holcomb was picking up on this. So when he said you kissing the white man ass, he was offended because he know he do. So yo rebuttal, he upped the ante. He didn't give him the same disrespect. He really upped the ante when he said to another grown man, you sucking the D of black people. And like Buddy saying, you're not identifying yourself a black. If Corey was caping for black people, what's wrong with that?
It's not the fact. Let me say something right quick. It's not the fact that he was caping for black people. It's just it seemed like that was the direction that he was going to get people on his side. That's what I caught from it. Because what's your name? House of Hypocrites?
Yeah.
My question is, like I told D earlier, they're both hypocrites on both sides of the coin. But what I was saying is that when I heard Corey say, okay, let's talk about white people, right? What white people do you want to talk about? You could have started a dialogue from there. Okay, who do you want to talk about? Scott Jennings? Do you want to talk about what person do you want to talk about that you disagree with me about, that you say that I'm kissing the a-holes of white people? He never went that route. He just kept saying white people. And it's like,
it was weird though, because what did that have to do with the statement that he initially made?
That's what I don't get.
It had nothing to do with the initial statement that he made.
He not saying let's talk about white people in literal sense. The fact is, when you give your examples or analogy, why do you have to give a derogatory analogy about black people? That's what he's saying.
He was making a blanket statement, though. Are you talking about Anton? Because
I'm talking about Corey. Because when Anton gave the analogy about black folks,
House of Hustle. Let me make this suggestion. So you in the streets, you supposed to meet somebody and handle some business. You done sat up here, came out there, drove out there, you waiting, you talking to the hired help, and this person ain't even here for the meeting. Yeah, I'm gonna say something about that.
That's
and
fine.
the same thing is in a professional setting of this podcasting. I'm not gonna waste DD time. I told her I was gonna be here 7:30 and I pull in at 8:15. That's ridiculous. I'm wasting her time.
Facts.
So yeah, I think, and I want to say this to what you said, House of Hustle. We people from the block, we believe that you ain't supposed to say stuff that I don't like. It's slick dissing.
Facts.
Well, maybe it was passive aggressive, but guess what? The darn shot caller would have said something to you if you had came up short on his payback. I mean, you're gonna get somebody say something mouthy. The thing is, just like the dude to the side of me, you gotta outthink a Anton. You gotta go get better prepared, better structure. You can't just wing it.
Can I just ask you something after?
I got you. Here's my last point. Here's my last point, House of Hustle. So yes, he was doing those things, but you a comedian, man. Crack a joke. Don't get offended.
That's it.
You are a comedian, and this is what I say about a lot of comedians. Comedians, and I've been saying this about Chris Rock for years. Comedians want to be bullies and then hide behind, hey, I do comedy. So bro, that's your opportunity to crack a joke. But go ahead, man.
I don't understand why we trying to police or just make suggestions on how other men supposed to react to other men disrespect. I don't want to hear nobody telling me what another man supposed to do in that particular action. We all want to act like we stoic. We all want to act like it's just we can't be no wrong. We can't be emotional in situations. Now we want to criticize when a man being direct with another man, telling him, "Hey, bro, don't disrespect me." You feel me? If Anton didn't have that same energy before Corey Holcomb when he said the kissing ass thing, obviously he wasn't that too offended. But when you double back and come, hey, and say this, bro, Anton want to meet disrespect with disrespect, but you ain't really feel disrespected until the man got in your goddamn face. So how we gonna police man's actions? I'm not policing no man's action. Whatever a man feel like he gonna do, that's what a man is. He do whatever he feel like he gonna do. If that's being emotional, allow him to be emotional. And if y'all got a problem with men being emotional, maybe you don't want to step out of line with an emotional man. Maybe you want to tread softly around an emotional man if you feel like it's going to take it there. And guess what Anton Daniel did? He tread softly and he apologized right in that man's face when he sat down and dared him to say those disrespectful other words again. After that,
should have been over.
You feel me?
It should have been over.
Don't expect no fade. You know what I'm saying? You ain't keep the same energy. It's over. He already violated your space as a man. He already came to your face as a man, made
Corey
you
did
bow
nothing.
down and say, I respect your platform.
House of Hypocrites, can I ask you a question?
Corey did nothing.
Hold up, let me ask you a question.
Corey didn't do anything.
House of Hypocrites.
Hold
up, Trey. Hold up, Trey. Let me ask you this
I
one quick, Trey.
don't need him to say it
Floyd,
twice.
I mean,
He
Kraig,
only
shut
say
up
it
for a
once.
minute.
Let me ask you this one question. House of
Right.
Hypocrites, hypothetically asking you a question. If Corey was to hit Anton, and this is all on his show, do you think YouTube would have canceled his show?
Man, in the moment
Because
of
this is a
man
business
feeling
right now.
You saying, do I think on YouTube?
From a business perspective, do you think if hypothetically speaking, if Corey would have hit Anton from a business perspective, that would have been a great idea to do that on live YouTube?
I don't think it was going to be a great idea. It's a possibility that he got his show canceled. But when a man is disrespected in that moment, y'all can tell they didn't. It was a point of time. We know they didn't care about no goddamn cameras. It was that split instance in that second where this could have went terribly wrong if Anton would have said that. We talking in hindsight. We can criticize what happened in hindsight because certain things didn't happen, certain things did. I'm not worried about no money or my platform or my brand sometimes in these moments where I might need to crash out.
Well, House of
Then that would make you a stupid man.
bad.
And then you would be a stupid man.
This the thing about it. I don't care what another man's perspective of me is in the moments. I'm gonna have to learn from
Sure you do. That's why you
You
crashing out.
Wait,
No.
fellas,
It's because of what he
fellas,
said.
fellas, let him
Sure, I
land.
don't.
Let him
I'm
land
not
so that
worried.
Trey can
Look,
speak.
check it out.
Let him land so that Trey can speak.
Don't
Chill
try
for a minute,
to
brother.
don't try to push your perspective and your ideology of what a man's supposed to do on me, my nigga. I'm telling you, whatever I felt in that moment, that's what I'm gonna do, and I'm gonna deal with the consequences as a man. I don't care how you feel about it. I'm gonna do what I do
just to
as
help
a
DD
man.
out.
I don't care if any other man is gonna criticize my actions because they don't eat what I eat. You know what I'm saying? So that's irrelevant.
Just to
Yeah,
help,
they got
DD
places
out.
for men,
Who has
men who
not
think
spoken?
like you.
Who has not
I want to
spoken?
go to Danny. Danny, come on, Danny, and then Trey could go.
Okay.
Danny been waiting. Then Trey could go. Thank you, Mr.
Hello,
Reese.
everyone. First and foremost, everything started with Anton. When Anton brought up just like what House of Hypocrites said about the time thing. Now, most likely Corey will apologize, for being late, whatever, right? But the problem with Anton is soon as Anton felt disrespected, I think in Anton's mind, Anton just said, "Fuck it, I'm gonna disrespect this dude." And sure enough, that's what Anton did. Even if you feel disrespected, any anybody know you don't disrespect the man in his own damn house, and that's what Anton did.
That's right.
Yeah, to Danny, what you're saying, like for me, if in fact he was being passive aggressive just because he wasn't punctual, I don't agree with that. Because we talk about relationships, and let's say you're going on a date with a girl and you're late, and then she's passive aggressive throughout. That's not right. Just cut the show. If you're not happy with the person not coming on time, then you leave.
Yeah, the only thing
There's no-
Anton had to do was leave.
you don't
But
be passive
instead,
aggressive and
no, go
gaslight.
ahead.
Because you wouldn't like it if you're on a date with a girl and she's being passive aggressive and gaslighting you. And then when you say something, like I'm not trying to equivalent everything to what Corey and Anton said, but when you say something to her like, come on, like why are you acting like this? And she's like, oh, why are you blowing up? Then you're in the wrong. You're the bad person.
But see, if Anton was feeling away, only
Trying
thing
that money no
Anton,
more.
yeah, that's the only reason Anton stayed. Anton stayed there for money and clout. Point blank. Period.
Okay.
No, time is
Trey.
money, man. Like
Trey.
if we have a certain time to be there, we got a certain time to be there.
Go ahead, Trey. Trey,
Yeah, first of all, being late is disrespectful and unprofessional. However,
Back.
I love this. I love it.
And-
I love that this is the equivalent of. Y'all remember when you used to have fights like on the playground on the basketball court? Nobody's actually going to throw a punch. Y'all just sitting there standing chest to chest. Nobody's actually really going to do anything. And I'm going to tell you how I know this is fake. I watch a lot of WWE. Have you ever watched WWE when they're having face-to-face confrontations? The mic is in between them so everybody can hear what they're saying. If you pay attention, Corey never put the mic down. He's actually holding the mic while they're having this conversation back and forth.
He did eventually. He did eventually. He did eventually.
The fact of the matter is that this is neither one of them wanted to fight each other. And another way that I always notice somebody doesn't want to fight is when somebody tells you where they're from. Anytime somebody tells you where they're from, what they're attempting to do is to tell you that I'm from such and such, and I'm hoping that the reputation of the place that I just said that where I'm from is so scary and fearful that you back down. So if I say I'm from Detroit, I'm hoping that you think that, oh, well, Detroit got a reputation. Chicago got a reputation. I'm from DC. Well, I'm from Southeast DC.
True.
I'm hoping that you understand that guys like us, well, we'll do certain things. This entire thing is one of the silliest things I've ever seen, and I think that it is a black eye to black men all over the world, especially when you try to go out when both of these guys have really made a living off of talking about black women, like really have gone after black women on both their platforms, and to see the two of them sit up there and go at each other back and forth, and nobody's throwing any punches. And I'll land here, DeeDee. I'll land this. If I have a trigger, Classy's my boy. If I have a trigger and Classy says my trigger, I don't need him to say it twice. He triggered me the first time. The first time he said it, I crash out immediately. There's no, oh, say it again. I bet you won't say it again. Say it again. I bet you won't say it again. I don't need all of that. You already said it. You have all disrespected me. There's no need for you to continue the disrespect. I heard you the first time. We all heard you the first time. So why do I need you to say it again?
You know why he needs to say it again?
Spaces do that all the time, though. I hear men in these spaces, but maybe it's just because it's on social media where men would say that again, nigga. Say it again. Say it again. So go ahead, House of Hypocrites.
Nah, you know why the reason he needed to say it again? Because he only said it one time. He never said it again. He never said this again. He did variations and alluded to what he said initially, but he never said it again. While Corey was asking him to say it again, Corey Holcomb wanted him to confirm this disrespect. He wanted him to confirm it. Like,
Facts.
are you really being
That sounds
disrespectful
crazy.
to me?
That sounds insane.
Man, he wanted him to confirm that disrespect. And guess
why do you need to be? Why do you need?
Let him finish.
Let me finish, bro. He did not confirm the disrespect. Because if you was intentionally being disrespectful to this man, you would have stood on whatever you say. When a man come in your face and ask you, "Hey, bro, say that shit again." I'm daring you. I'm testing you. I'm testing your temperament, your manhood. I'm testing your hands, nigga.
That's true, because I've seen that at the
He
club.
apologized, bro. So he wasn't intentionally trying to be disrespectful if he apologized for saying this. So when you saying why he was asking to say it again, because he was trying to see if this man really trying to.
Nope, that's an excuse. The fact of the matter is that if the fact of the matter is that he actually wanted to do something, he don't need a second time. He don't need
Not necessarily, Trey, because I've seen in the club where let me just say real quick, I've seen in the club Trey, a white guy say a racial slur to a black person. Let me just finish this.
What was that, Rush Hour?
Yes, the answer is yes. Corey said he felt disrespected. So why do you need him to say it again?
Well, Trey, I've seen in the club a white person say a racial slur to a black guy, and I literally saw the black guy say, "What did you say to me?" And then he repeated it. And then the black guy, they got into a fight.
So what? That has nothing to do with the price of rights in China. The fact of the matter is that Corey felt disrespected off of the first initial time that he said.
But so did the black guy in the club. So did the black guy in the club, Trey. That's all I'm saying. I saw it with my own eyes. So did he. He was upset.
So
let's let Trey finish his point. Let's let Trey finish his point.
Oh no,
Just to help DD out. Try not to repeat the same sentence 3 and 4 times, because it's a lot of us on here. I'm trying not to say nothing myself. So just to help DD out, because she don't try to break up us men. Let Trey finish his point.
All I'm saying is you don't actually want to fight if you have to ask for confirmation of the disrespect. You don't actually want to fight. I'm sorry. I've never seen that before. If somebody disrespected me, or I've seen guys be disrespected, I have never ever seen them say it again. I just saw them crash out from the first time he said it. He just went crazy from the first time he said it. That was the end of it. Like, we knew right then and there. That's his trigger. Don't say he a D sucker, because he gonna lose it.
Okay. Just think it all depends, Trey. As I said, I've seen it.
I'm just
That's
saying.
my example I've said. And the guy said it twice. When he said it the second time, then they got into a fight.
When it comes down to it, the way I look at it, if you have these people that say things like, "I studied you and I studied this," the way I look at it is this, and I say this all the time: if I know my enemy, if I know your arsenal, if I know your artillery, if I know how you move, if I know your strategies, if you end up beating me, that's my fault.
Let me ask this to DeeDee. DeeDee, let me ask you this quick question from a lady's point of view. How did you feel about Corey mentioning the woman at the end of all this, when his problem really was with the guy? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think that was a bit extra, but I wasn't shocked. That's the thing. When people are mad and y'all are going at it, people gonna say whatever. When you mad at somebody, you gonna take whatever shots you think is relevant. So I wasn't shocked by it. He's like, look, we just, he calling him or whatever, cussing him out or whatever as he was leaving. And then he mentioned, and who's your B? Now, I think he knows Anton is married. So I guess he felt that's another thing I could use against him. When you fighting and when you mad, you're going to use anything you think you can use to get at that person. So I wasn't shocked by it at all, because that's just how people are. When you arguing and you try to get at somebody, you use whatever. And that's something he thought he could use, you know, like, who is this chick and you want her to be on my show? Hey, I don't know that B, he said. Basically saying, what are you doing? And he alluded to it earlier when Anton was acting as if he didn't know what he was talking about, when he was saying, when a man moves a certain way. Remember when he was saying, and he married and he walking around with he was basically saying it, like trying to call him out on it then. And then, Anton responded to that, like, no, that's, he worked with Mika, she signed to him, whatever. So Corey was alluding to it, but I wasn't surprised. When you mad, you're gonna say whatever you can that you think is, disrespectful.
I mean, he also went off at the security, his bodyguard, right? Anton had a security with him, right? From what I understand.
Yeah, I think Anton did say he had security, and then he said, you got security, and Corey was like, no, that's my people. So,
Okay.
Which I guess could act as security, right? Because if something popped up,
for sure.
Because if Corey, if Corey was to lose a fight, if Corey was to lose a fight, those two friends that was there would have jumped in. Those two friends were allegedly strapped. And that's another thing. That's another thing with the male community. If we say let's do a fair one, what I hate about us as the male community, you got people jumping in because your favorite friend is losing. It's like, look, if that's the case, let's not even do it, because again, that's how gunplay comes into a thing. Mm-hmm. Everybody want to pop off. Like I've been fist fighting since 3rd grade. Everybody want to pop off, but then you don't want to see the dude who initiated, no matter who you choosing. You don't want to see them lose, so you got somebody to come in. Let's not even do it then.
Yeah, it's almost like I said, it's even according to females that do that, get guys to come defend their battles. I put half these guys in the morgue, and some of them got families and children's. Trying to say something.
I'm gonna say this, Mr. Research, and everybody that's listening. We only give fair ones to family and friends. I'm only giving you a fair one if you a family or friend, because if my particular family or friend get in the fight, I love that person. I don't want to see him hurt or her hurt. So it's gonna be us against you. It ain't no fair one. We gotta stop trying to make rules for niggas we don't mess with, or for our enemies. It's no fair one. So if you felt like he had more people, however you felt, you better tread softly.
Yeah.
That's one.
I mean, he stood up. He stood up and said,
"No way."
I think, and said, "Let's have a fair one."
Or speaking places, there's no way that nobody can offend me. Nobody can offend me that I don't love. It just can't happen. Somebody that I do not love cannot offend me.
You said, there you go.
Yeah, no. The only people that can offend me are those that I love.
Man, I'm pretty sure a man can offend you directly in your face.
I've been in way too many debates and all that, to where some of the lowest stuff have been said about me, my wife. But like I said, if I know your tactics and your artillery, you can try, but it's not going to work, especially when I know what you're trying to do. And when I don't give in to that, it makes you that much more pissed off, because I'm not reacting to it like you want me to, or like you expected me to.
You could be offended,
and also it depends on where you grew up. It does depend on.
See, but then we can't say that, though, because I grew up in Chi-Town, East Garfield, and Cabrini Green.
Because like here on the West Coast, even if I don't like you, I don't really know you, you from the other side. If we all at a spot, you're gonna have a bunch of, because it's cowboy culture out here. You're gonna have a bunch of people say, no, nobody jump in it. Y'all just go head up. And we don't even know each other. So a lot of times it really depends on where you grew up and what your standards are. But you do have a point. I'm just like this. I wish, even though you're saying that Anton started with the flip mouth, I wish whoever would have been there to intellectually dominate Anton, as opposed to even allowing it to go to this point. This person is a guest, and I don't know. I just don't understand how words get us to this point, and especially with Kraig talking about he gonna run over there. It's like I just don't get it, man.
Kraig's a crash out. Kraig been a crash out for a long time, but here's the thing. I would never give another man that kind of power over me. Now, I will say this. There is one particular action that you could do that would get me to crash out, and that is to spit on me. If you were to spit on me, I probably am gonna lose my mind. I'm gonna lose my mind. But there is nothing you can say. You can talk about my mother, you can talk about my daughter, and I've heard a lot of things considering the line of work that I was in. I've heard a lot of people say certain things. I've even been followed home a couple of times. The fact of the matter is, there's nothing you can actually say to me that's going to get me to get triggered. My issue with these two men is that there are a bunch of young 20-year-old black men who are watching them. That's my biggest issue. I'm 41 years old. To see 44-year-old man and a 56-year-old man have this type of confrontation when they should have been having a conversation, it's honestly, it's disappointing. At the end of the day, it really is. It's just disappointing. And I get it, man. We men, I get it, bro. Testosterone get to kicking in, and it happens. I've been in enough barbershops back when I had hair. I've been in enough barbershops that I get this. I understand that things can kind of get out of control sometimes, especially around men. I played basketball and football growing up. You know, tempers flare. It happens. To actually say that these things don't happen would be crazy, right? But I just wish that it didn't go down the road of, well, now we want to set up a boxing match. You know, like, what are we doing here?
Man,
right.
Hey, Trey, I'm glad this happened. This was a master class. This need to happen more, because it shows you when a man is disrespected and you disrespect a man, you can have the courage enough to apologize after disrespecting that man, because it didn't go nowhere. You seen the conflict. We need to stop acting like these things don't happen, as if this is gonna be the end all be all for young kids, and these are the only examples. It's like we see negative examples in our communities, and we highlight these things, and we act like, oh, our kids gonna gravitate it more to the negative shit than the positive. I'm glad this happened. It need to happen some more.
Yeah, but hypocrites, we know that this is the case. We grew up as boys. We could fight on a Tuesday and be best friends again on Wednesday. We've grown up like this. Isn't anything new that two heads could butt as far as boys and men are concerned, and then we can go grab a beer later and talk it out. This is nothing new. We've done this. So the idea of them, you know, reconciling afterwards wasn't a far-fetched idea. I'm upset at that. This was an opportunity for Anton. I'm not the biggest fan of Anton, but I'm also not the biggest fan of Corey either, right? But I did want to see the conversation because they're on separate sides of the aisle. I definitely want to see the conversation, but more importantly, I wanted to hear how Anton was going to be able to get around somebody who is unabashedly pro-black and is about it. Like, because oftentimes Anton will run away from guys like this. He don't really want to have a conversation with guys like this because they will start to talk about him not wanting to actually call out white men and things of that nature. Even though Anton claims that he does, I can't find any evidence of it. But even though he claims that he does, so I actually want to see
he does it every day. Like, he does it every day, though. That's the crazy part. That's what his whole show is about. Calling out.
His past 3 shows, he called out white liberal women. He said they are the worst thing to America.
Right.
Yeah, like,
why he had to put an asterisk on it though? Why he just can't call out white women? He got to put an asterisk on the thing because he in the conservative fan base, right?
Well,
he gonna have to asterisk.
You can make that fair point, but I get what he was saying. Basically, if you bring it back to feminism, white liberal women are the cause of many problems of today, and as they were back then. I was just making that point from that.
So that's right.
But that's incorrect. That's incorrect. I'm a conservative. That's incorrect.
Let me do this.
The problem is white men. White men are the problem.
White
men are really the issue. White men have this thing, and I tell Republican white men all the time to their damn face, whether you believe it or not. Hey, look, you talk out of turn too much. You say stuff and then ask for our help. You say stuff and then ask for us to help you in the military. You do this mud shark crap because you're jealous. But then simultaneously, you over in China, Taiwan, and every place else doing the exact same thing. You know, it's cowardice. And the last thing I told a dude probably like 6 months ago, I was at one of these little conservative dinner parties. Somebody asked me something, and I said, look, you love Russians more than you love the black man that has helped you in every war. Everybody got quiet. so yeah, sometimes you got to talk that ish to the mayonnaise man.
Point taken.
Mm-hmm.
I think there need to be like a moderator or someone there to like keep on keeping on the subject. Because like I said, if you go to a speaking engagement or whatever like that, and they tell you that these are the topics that we're going to be talking about, if you're gonna stick to a topic, stick to it and quit venturing off. All the other stuff you can just talk about it later. So this might sound a little corny or I don't know, nerdy, but what I keep with me all the time are notepads, sticky notes, whatever like that, because the minute we are on a subject and you start to go off on, but how come you not this? I'm not even hearing you no more. I'm going to write something down. We were talking about X, Y, and Z. So the minute you get done with all that, I'm going to go, okay, so anyway, we were talking about da. And you've seen that a lot in that, though. And that's why I said I wish it could have happened. And at the same time, this is also an opportunity for those of us that say that we are about the Black community. We are about trying to be a positive light. You get to see it on these panels all the time. You hear people talk about how we need to be this better. We need to be better men for the community, be better men for our young Black children. But then if they watch us on these panels, it almost seems hypocritical. Y'all already crash out. I'll pull up on you, nigga. I mean, it's like, right. You get to show what you claim you're about all the time. And it comes out naturally whenever you get triggered by something or whatever. So
I don't know.
I feel like
Black men, we ain't as subservient and submissive in thought. Like that is a traits and qualities of corporate America. Want you to be subservient and submissive, and like, oh, we ain't gonna have no conflict. We ain't gonna do this online. Which could have been cool if they kept it offline, but it happened. You know what I'm saying? It happened. But I don't know. We ain't monolithic within these things. Niggas gonna get mad, gonna get pissed off. We gonna fight. We gonna do it all. As
right. I hear what you're saying. So here's the thing, though. What I always get at is this: like I'm going on 25 years of being married, right? And there used to be a thing that a lot of people that grew up in a certain era, they'll say things like, "Hey, don't let your kids them see you argue." I'm opposite. I wanted my sons to see me and my wife argue and go at it. You want to know why? Because they also got to see conflict resolution. You know what I'm saying? Yep. They got to see us come back, hug, kiss. You see me and your mom had a disagreement. I know we got loud. I know we got this, but what you got to see is conflict. Now we back to home. You see me kissing. They get to see conflict resolution. At the same time, they also get taught that when they do get their own wives, this is how we're going to battle it out. This is how we're going to come to a conflict resolution. But what we don't get to see a lot of times is that conflict resolution. You get to see, okay, we dabbed it up. You know, but anyway, you still shouldn't have said that. See, we really didn't solve the conflict yet, did we? Mm-hmm. Because you keep on bringing it up. It's the same thing when somebody say something like, "Hey, did you say this to me?" And you go, "No," and they go, "Oh, because I was about to say." Why you have to throw that in there? I clearly told you that's not what I said, but then you go, "Because I was about to say if you said that, I was gonna." Why you have to even add that in there? You see what I'm saying?
You know, I think Anton and Corey Holcombs both have this examples of conflict resolutions on their platforms. So if they need examples, go look in the past. In this particular time, it wasn't that type of time, bro. Sometimes you gotta handle your business, and sometimes you don't.
So that means if it gets to a point to where it's elevated like this, neither one of them know how to handle that.
I mean, they don't. It doesn't mean that, bro. Sometimes you can't cross the line, bro. Why we have to always? Sometimes you cannot cross the line, bro.
I think we're going around in circles here. I think the question
we will.
Has been asked already, because suppose that we're going around in circles. Was this a calculated event? Was this something that, let's say, Anton planned to happen? If that's the case, it nullifies everything there. It nullifies it.
If this was calculated,
it was absolutely.
It shows you how sleazy, slimy that Anton Daniels is. If this was if this was his plan.
Wow.
This is some of the lamest shit I done seen a man. I studied you for what?
But hold
well,
on.
Let me answer that question, House of Hypocrites. Is it
please.
possible that he came into a situation knowing Corey probably didn't like him in the beginning before the show started? So that's the reason to be prepared.
But why would he go on the show then?
Exactly.
Right.
Why would he go?
Why would you go into space?
Because everything is strategic. Everything is strategic. Look, I understand. Like somebody in the chat they said some of y'all ain't from the hood. Look, check this out. My house is right up the street from Acorn. So I don't know what you're talking about.
I have a question. If I'm not from the hood, does that make me less black? Like,
no.
Let me just finish the point real quick. I think there's a difference, you guys who are watching. You guys think that every time somebody gets on a camera, that it has to be just a fair, open, and honest exchange of ideas. No, sir. Some people are getting on camera to strategically have a discussion that benefits them. That's just what it is. If we walking around here thinking that every time we put on face, I've turned down quite a few places to go on YouTube because I know how I am, and I don't want to be around equally. Well, not equally. I don't want to be around people who just want to trigger me to pop off. And if you got a space that just it has nothing to do with you got a different point of view and you just want to say some slick mouth ish, and I'm just supposed to be there and take it so you can go back and monetize and say, see, I had Mr. Research quiet. It wasn't a discussion. It was strategic. So I just don't believe that a lot of these discussions are just fair discussions. Many of these things are very strategic.
I can see where you're going with that. Yeah.
It's kind of like looking at a presidential debate almost, you know, or a political debate.
But this wasn't no debate though.
No. I'm making the comparison.
No, because that's what people trying to allude to. He wanted to debate. He wanted to debate. Maybe Anton wanted to debate, and Corey was just having an open dialogue. Oh, he lost the debate. What the fuck? What were they debating about? Honestly, because for an hour, it seemed like they were just into it.
Yeah.
Before it got to that point,
they got two different perspectives. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it sounded as though Corey was venting. He was literally venting about his feelings and expressions of how his people are being treated. But the thing with Anton is that he's schooled. He knows about history. And I think the way how he went about it was to make him look like an idiot, make him look stupid. But obviously he got that taunt about, you know, kissing white ass. Nobody flinched though. No one flinched when he said that. So when he said that, he gave him back the same energy where it's an open door policy for now Anton to say what he said. But what he said, no, that was not the same energy because everybody was shocked when he said that. Everybody was shocked.
Because they
weak-minded. Where did that?
Because they weak-minded. They weak-minded on that. If they were so shocked about that, man, you ain't finna tell me I kiss ass, man, because I think a certain way and think that's cool. So again, you got to deal with whatever you got to deal with, fam. At the end of the day, we joining each other. This is what we do. If we join it, we join it.
Bro, I'm saying to you, nobody flinched. Nobody butted the eye when he said you kissed white ass.
People are too comfortable with saying that.
Right. What if it became wait, let me say this. What if it got to a point the reason why nobody flinched is because we became so accustomed to those type of insults. You know what I'm saying? If you have become accustomed to hearing people say this certain thing about black, I get called a coon, tap dancer, house Negro, porch Negro, bootlicker, dancing for the white man, sandboat, Uncle Tom. You get called it all the time. So the reason why there's no flinching because there's an expectation that if you do get called that, we desensitized to it. So of course there wasn't, but now the flinching came in because some folks are not used to getting hit back. That's where now to me, I get it.
Exactly.
You're not used to getting hit back. Like for instance, when I go and speak, people are not used to getting hit back. They're used to us just taking the heat and taking the flames and taking the arrows. But the minute I shoot you back, all of a sudden now, hey, you also now you're not used to getting hit back.
Ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun.
We all knew there was
something wrong with your mic. Turn your mic up. Turn your mic up.
Yeah. Cut your mic up, man. I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
UK, turn your mic up. So here's the thing. I don't know if DeeDee wanted to say something because I was going to bring up another point up in here. But DeeDee,
no, go ahead. You go ahead.
So another strange point to me was talking about security. I don't even know why that even comes in, to be honest, because at the end of the day, one man invited another man to go out back. Okay, regardless of who. Okay, because I even agree with House of Hustle. Yeah, Antoine came in flip mouth, but you got invited to go out back 3 times, bro, and the man said, I don't care nothing about that. Let's just go out back. And sometimes for those of us who have fought, like I used to Greco-Roman wrestle, sometimes you want to fight just for practice, just to do it, right?
Yes,
so yeah. So even if you
get it over with.
Yeah, even if you lose, okay, I should have faded this way on that last one. You know what I mean? Sometimes you do that. My thing is, what about the asking to go for a fight. I mean, forget whether it's a fair fade. You're asking the person to come on, let's go out back.
Yeah, no, I feel that. I feel that. If y'all on man, I'll jump in right now.
Gladiators
What's going
don't
on, everybody
gladiate,
on the
man.
panel? Shout out to you, DD. Top notch content as of lately. Good job to you.
Thank you.
Yeah, what I want to say on this is specifically, you know, Corey was not prepared to have this conversation with Anton. You know, like Corey's a comedian. I mean, he's quick off the draw, but he's not the right guy to discuss black empowerment. Now, I do consider Corey a pro-black. I'm not saying he's not. He is. He just is not. He's not well researched enough or know enough about the subject to really ask the right questions and challenge Anton. It wouldn't have been that difficult to turn the tables on Anton if you really knew what you were talking about. You could have chopped a lot of that stuff up and flipped that script real fast, but you really, really have to know the information to really go at this guy. He's a savvy debater. He does it 5 to 6 times a week, you know, on his live. So he's not any stranger to that. You have to be prepared. Corey was not prepared, and he probably underestimated him. As far as the fade is concerned, the fade was never going to happen. So you got to understand, like, and I get what Mr. Research is saying, and respect to him. I used to watch your content way back in the day, long time. Respect to you, Mr. Research. But the fade was never going to happen. It was overlay for an underplay because you got security with you. What is the job of the security guard? That's like me having 2 armed security guards would be like, Research, you really don't want no problems. Let's go outside. Like, I know damn well we get out there, like 2 armed security guards, it's not about to be a fade. It's not going to happen. That's what you paid this guy for, to keep you out of trouble. He ain't going to just be like, go ahead and fight. Like, it ain't going to happen like that. So that's all I wanted to say, guys.
The fade wasn't in the script. They didn't discuss that in the script when they was rehearsing the whole thing before they got out there.
Anton said the security was more for Mika. Because if think about it, if Corey wanted to hit him, he was close enough to just pop him. The security wasn't nowhere around, right? No. He could have easily hit him if he wanted to, like with the quickness, and the security would have came running after the fact.
DeeDee, Corey like 6'2", 275. Who's stopping him?
But I'm saying if he wanted to hit him,
he's not that tall. Corey ain't no 6'2".
No, I'm being facetious, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I got you.
I'm trying to correct everything. The point I'm trying to make is that when you are within 20 feet of another man, nobody's going to stop you. You can get to him if you want to.
Yeah. What's it? What is this? Major Gage? Is that it?
Major Gage, what's up, DeeDee? How you doing, sister?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful. I can't complain. I'm a big fan. Shout out to you. You out here doing the Lord's work. I see you out there.
I appreciate it.
I come from Manversations 2020 podcast. We've been checking you out for a minute. The thing about this whole back and forth that everybody keeps talking about, Anton, I do feel like he went in there with an agenda. He basically admitted as much at the end. And, you know, I heard you earlier, and you what baffled me about what you were saying is like that you couldn't understand like why they were beefing. And that's what I wanted to bring clarity to. It's clear to me why they were beefing, because Anton widely, you know, is broadly considered as a coon and Corey is not. And basically he was calling him out on his cooning and the fact that, you know, he always, Anton for the most part is a professional white ass kisser. That's what he is. You know what I'm saying? Like he doesn't really have any smoke for white men. He'll talk about liberal white women because he's a conservative. So, you know, the people who, you know, are behind him, because I believe there's somebody funding this guy. You know what I'm saying? Or the people who are behind him not gonna come down on him for that. He sounds like he's auditioning for like a spot at Fox News or something, the way he talks, you know, and Corey was basically calling him out on what is true. This is what he does constantly. And that that is the point of contention. Even before anybody started talking about dick sucking or whatever, which I feel is something that Anton intentionally did to trigger Corey. Before any of that came along, you know, there was this. There's something about Corey. He's, you know, you say what you want to say about him. People talk about, you know, he has some toxic traits, and he says some toxic things and does some toxic things. But Corey is pro-black. Anton is anything but pro-black. And that's the problem right there, you know, and he was calling him out on his cooning. And that's where, you know, it got contentious or whatever the case may be, you know. And I feel when he said that he, you know, kissed white ass and all this stuff, I don't think that, I mean, he was being honest from where I come, from what I see, you know, he's being very honest, very for real. That is what he does. That is his shtick. You know what I'm saying? And it's about time that somebody called them out for that, because all the people on this show, they so busy trying to get, you know, some shine for themselves so they can go and start something that nobody calls them out on his bullshit. He constantly attacks black people. He one of them niggas that always talking about, you know, he always got an excuse when a racist white person murders somebody black. Oh, Trayvon Martin was a thug, you know, or, you know, what's the other guy? George Floyd died of a fentanyl overdose. He one of them niggas. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, you listen to Anton and you hear it clear as day. What kind of black person comes out avidly against reparations? I hope you niggas never get reparations. If it was up to me, y'all never get Who says that? That's some Uncle Ruckus shit.
That was wild.
I do.
That's some Uncle Ruckus shit, but that's who he is.
I don't think y'all deserve
Uncle Ruckus shit.
I don't
That's
think
who he is, you feel me? And so that's why he was being called out, as he should. They're not the same. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same. Anton Daniels is decidedly anti-black. I don't know how much of his stuff you heard, Didi, but that's a coon ass nigga if I ever seen one. And that's just the long and short of it.
Can I go? Because I do.
Yeah.
And let's be clear, Didi. Nothing happened to him. Just want to be very clear.
I have to say something. I'm not like dropping people's like YouTube channel for like a clout or anything like that. But if you guys remember, I remember a little bit, but it wasn't until I had to look back at a video with Anton and Kenyon Martin. Anton he's not bright, but he's conniving. I'll give him that. If you notice in the video that he made about Kenyon Martin, because what happened is, as you guys know, Kenyon Martin is cool with Gil. He's on Gilbert Arenas' show. Anton put it out there, hey man, I like what you're doing, Gil. You the star of the show. Them dudes are nothing without you, right? Then when it came back on their show, Kenyon Martin brought it up and said, I don't know who that dude is. He's a nobody. I don't know why he would say that we're nothing without Gil, right? Wow. Then what Anton did is he responded back to it. It was calling Kenyon Martin all types of Neanderthal. He called him Toby. He said, all you're good at is running with a basketball. You were never at best. He said you are a Scottie Pippen, and everybody needs a Scottie Pippen in their life. He said if it wasn't for basketball, you'd be out on the corner selling drugs. He is a clout chasing, grifting piece of shit. I'm sorry, excuse my language.
Facts.
He is.
Damn.
He is a type. I've even seen how he talks to his panelists.
Yep.
And the nigga is delusional. When he after his scuffle with,
he's batshit crazy.
And I'm not. This is nothing against big dudes, right? Because even me, I have to lose weight. But this nigga literally said, he said, "Oh, Corey's not gonna do anything. He overweight." He said, "Look at me. I'm not out of shape." And then the nigga just literally stood up, looking like Mr. Potato Head.
Yeah, he's out of shape. Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, like me, I need to lose weight. I'm not gonna be like, oh no, like I'm Mr. Olympia. But it's the fact that this nigga is delusional. I mean, if you guys got to look at this video, go back to the YouTube video of him talking about Kenny Martin. He was talking all types of stuff, and this is what I remember vividly. The man said, "Oh, don't worry about you're not gonna do anything." He said because everybody got a gun, everybody got security, and everybody got money. Those were his three. Though he said that word for word in his exact thing. He said it because he was pissed off that Kenyon Martin said he was a nobody. Those were his exact words. He said
no one's gonna do anything. Nothing is gonna pop off because everybody has a gun. Basically saying I have a gun, I have money, and I got security with me at all times. So you're not gonna do anything. He is Nick Fuentes in blackface. He is like
Facts.
he is
Oh damn.
Yes.
he's
Yes.
he's just
He is.
you know what I said about him on somebody else's panel. He's just Pearly but with bigger breasts, right? Like,
Oh shit.
he is a person. He is a clout chaser. So he's looking for people to get his name into the streets so that he can get views off of them. He even admitted it multiple times. He's just somebody that's a grifter. I'll give you a prime example. I consider myself a conservative, but there's a difference between a conservative that actually has some logic and someone that doesn't. If you ask,
Right.
I'm not trying to get your channel like blown up, but we all know what goes on in Gaza. There are different between a conservative that say, hey, I don't want certain foreign countries influencing American policy. We know, if you know, you know, we know. You never
Right.
hear talk about those people in the Middle East. If we know who we're talking about, you never hear him say that. You can tell if a black conservative is really a conservative if they're actually talking about geopolitics. This nigga said it word for word. He said, we need to get rid of Maduro because they're smuggling drugs into America. That's why he said that's why Trump needed to take him out. And I'm like, if that was the case, then why did Trump pardon the former Honduras president who was a known drug lord? 50% of our the narco trafficking comes through Mexico. He's not a smart dude. He just grifts off of what's spoken about on Fox News, and then he goes and then creates his own thing. Like he had a short one time, and I'll never forget. This is my last point. You know how he does his little shorts where he's like in the backtrack, watching people. He had a short where there was this white dude saying, "How come?" He said, "I never feel safe in a black neighborhood, but black people could feel safe in a white neighborhood." And then the white dude said, "Oh, whenever I went to go get drugs when I used to be a drughead." Basically, he was saying he was a crackhead. He said he never felt safe in a black neighborhood, but he said, but black people can anytime go to a white neighborhood. Then the white dude immediately said after that, he said, now I'm sober, so I don't have those issues no more, right? And then immediately as the video clip comes off, Anton looks in the camera and said, I agree with him. Now everybody that knows that we from the hood, you're from New Orleans, I'm from Brooklyn. We know not every single place is a drug zone, right? You have your areas, right? It's not everywhere that's a drug zone. So you're gonna tell me somebody has the thing going. So this is my last point. You're gonna tell me that you don't feel safe because you're going literally for things that are nefarious and looking for drugs. It's not like you're just walking down the street and you're getting robbed as a white person. You're going into the worst parts of the community and then you're complaining and then saying, oh, I don't feel safe in a place where I'm literally doing something illegal. Then Anton dumbass said, I agree with him. It's not fair that white people feel safe and unsafe in black neighborhoods. It's like, that's a grift.
Yep.
Ooh,
Agreed.
Lord.
100%. Agreed.
So what?
Go 6'8" Aquarius. Let me hear from you, and then Kiddo, y'all, and then I'm gonna wrap this up. Y'all done said a lot. I've heard some things. I just don't really speak on it, but you know.
I got something else I want to say too before you close out, sister, if that's okay. But go ahead, y'all.
Yeah. Go ahead. Wait, did I mute you? Let me unmute you. Go ahead? 6 foot.
Can y'all hear me?
I can hear you. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing good. How's everybody doing? Everybody doing good?
What's cracking? All right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, a couple things. I just hopped on about 15 minutes ago, so I'm not sure if I'm getting ready to say what I already said, but a couple things that's not too popular since this whole situation took place was, I'm gonna say first, the situation with Kraig. I think that Anton Daniels did his homework extremely well to the point where I'm a little paranoid that Anton knew that Kraig wasn't going to be there on Tuesday because of all the weeks that Kraig is on the show, giving, doing comedy, spitting knowledge. All of a sudden, Kraig is not there. Okay. And so I believe that this whole situation wouldn't have gotten as bad or wouldn't have went off the rails as much if Kraig was there, because Kraig would have thrown his intellect into the conversation. And then, I know about Kraig a little bit being from California. Kraig is definitely somebody you're just not going to physically oppose either. Kraig is definitely going to hold his own. And he's known for, being physical with people because he's a pretty decent sized guy himself. So all that big fighting talk would have been a little bit different if Kraig was there. And then if it was just on an intellectual conversation, I think Kraig would have been able to help Corey out on certain things because, Kraig to me, on that standpoint, to me is a little smarter than Corey is. So that would have been a little different. I didn't like the fact that Anton is on his platform now berating Corey. Is like, you think you won. Now you're going on there attacking Kraig, saying Kraig wasn't there. They said Kraig was at a comedy show or doing something in the building. Anton comes on his platform and says, well, that's not true because before I got there, I got a whole tour of the entire building. Kraig was nowhere to be found. So now he's trying to make Kraig out to be a liar and trying to make the 5150 brand look real stupid by insinuating that, Kraig was somewhere doing whatever. He wasn't nowhere in the building because he popped up at the very end. So I think, Kraig not being there could have, really made the situation worse than what it was. And I feel like Anton took advantage of that because he does his homework. All he does all day, because I do watch his platform. I watch his platform mainly for some of his other panelists that, have different points of view than him. I like to see what type of interaction or rebuttal they're going to give. So that's the reason why I have followed Anton for the last 2 years as much as I have, just to kind of get his perspective on things, because I feel like just because you don't agree with somebody, it doesn't mean that you don't follow what they're saying, because if you're going to go against them or you're going to oppose them, you have to know who they are and what they're about. And that's where Corey failed. Corey didn't do his homework. Darlene didn't do her homework. And if you really want to be honest and frank, Darlene was absolutely useless. She was useless as a used piece of toilet paper because Anton admitted that he got in her head before the interview even started by having a conversation with her about her private life and making her feel good. So her mind was already warped before everything went down. And so it was a manipulation tactic that Anton came in with to sabotage this whole entire platform and to basically take Corey out because he knows that Corey is a leftist or comes off as a leftist. And he, pretty much wanted to, go on someone's turf and dominate and grow his brand, because a lot of people are siding with Anton. No, I'm sorry. A lot of people are opposing Corey because Corey has been in the game 35 years as a stand-up comic and on social media as of late. So Corey has had more time to rub certain people the wrong way or make people feel some kind of way with who he is as a comic and who he is as a person. A lot of people were saying online they don't even know who Anton is. If people, and I see some gentlemen on here who are very aware of Anton as well as Corey. If a lot more people were aware of who both these gentlemen were, a lot of people would have been holding Anton accountable for being a hypocrite, because the exact same things he was holding against, so he was holding over Corey's head about his co-workers and how they don't hold him accountable. It's the same thing that goes on with his platform. He has a woman on there named Molly. I think he's fucking her. I think he's fucking Mika. He don't hold Molly accountable. She goes on there and disrespects black men at every cost she can. She goes on there and talks about gay men. She uses the word gay and black men in the same sentence almost every single broadcast that they have. And even some of the panelists on his platform have told Anton, why do you allow her to do this? Why do you allow her to shift the whole conversation and then throw the word gay and throw the word black man in the same breath? And Anton sits back and he laughs about it. He giggles about it. And, whatever they're getting paid on his platform, it must be pretty goddamn good because nobody has left or nobody hasn't said, you know what, I'm done doing this. I'm going to do my own thing, whatever. If more people knew about who Anton was, and he was more known as Corey was, a lot of people wouldn't be out here siding with Anton thinking he punked Corey. Corey knew exactly what he was about to get himself into. He knows that he's been in trouble before with other people. He knows that YouTube is an extremely sensitive platform, and any wrongdoing he does is going to take money out of his pocket, food out of his kids' mouths, and he can't afford to do that. He's from the old school. He thought smarter and not harder. Anton knew that. Anton knew if this man touches me on camera or or either behind the building, wherever they were going to go, I'm going to sue him.
Yes.
And also too, even if and personally, I don't believe Antoine got no squabbles. I don't think Anton gets manicures every week. I don't think he has no squabbles. He's not about to mess up his clean manicure. Even if Anton could fight, I think if Anton could fight, and let's just say he whooped Corey's ass, he would still take Corey to court because he'll sit there and say, I was provoked, I felt threatened, and I felt disrespected on a live stream, that anybody in the world could see. I had to whoop his ass because I was in danger for my life and my personal space was being confiscated. He would have done that if he lost the fight or if he won the fight. And that was the common sense I give Corey for. Corey knew exactly what this nigga was, and that's exactly why he backed away. And everybody wants to call him a coward and want to call him a punk and call him soft. No, he knew what he had to lose.
Right.
I want to say this before because I'm about to leave. The only fight that Anton ever had was putting his shirt on. All right, I just want to say that. And with that being said, thank you for having me on. It was a pleasure. I have to go.
Hey.
You're welcome. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Mr. 6'8", I'm glad you brought that up because I said that the whole time. Why do you want to jeopardize your business? You lose money. YouTube will cancel you. Darlene don't have a job and Kraig don't have a job. Because all of this stuff is in your home base. You don't want to take it there. That's why I knew the fight wasn't going to happen.
I didn't like the fact that he's trying to bring up. I know Darlene and Corey. I don't know the details. I never have, never will. But I know they've had problems. The fact that you're trying to escalate a issue and try to drive a wedge in between these two people, it really made me upset because I'm like, I know they got problems or they had problems. She's expressed to him on the air, some of her grievances. Now you're trying to manipulate her and try to try to drive a wedge in between them. That to me was on some Art of War, 48 Laws of Power bullshit. That's exactly what he was on. And like I said, I didn't like that what he did. I felt that it was very intentional. And like I said, it's very dangerous. And I didn't notice he got the hell up out of LA when that shit happened too, because I'm from LA. I'm from Long Beach, California. He got his ass from out of there as soon as that happened too.
Sure did. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it just I'm gonna say one last thing. It really boils down to if you're an Anton supporter or if you're a hard Republican, you're gonna look at the situation as Corey got punked and Anton was a genius. If you're a hardcore right, if I'm saying it right, if you're a hardcore Democrat or
Lefty.
whatever the case may be, if you're pro-black or whatever, you're gonna take a hardcore stance to Corey because of what I'm saying, for what Anton did. So me, I'm neither one. I'm not even a person in the middle. I think for myself, and I use my own judgment when it comes to decisions, when it comes to politics, is that both of those dudes in the long run, they both took a L. Because I pray this doesn't hurt Corey to the point where he can't rebound from this. And even though Corey does have some issues, and I'm not on board with him all the way, I understand Corey more because I'm 40. I'll be 46 next week. I'm 46 years old, and I've been following Corey for the last 30 years in comedy. And I know how black comics are, and I'm also from Chicago originally. So I understand Corey's point of view and his side and everything. So there's a little bit more of allegiance towards him. But Anton is playing a real dangerous game, and something's gonna happen. And I pray that it doesn't, but he gonna get in the face of the wrong person, and it ain't gonna be a scripted conversation. It's gonna be a real conversation, and something's gonna happen. But unfortunately, you got to be willing to sacrifice whatever you worked hard for to put this dude in check. Because someone like him, he's out to try to take over the world and try to ruin as many black people as he can because
Yes,
he's
he
been
is.
hurt by black people.
Mm-hmm. Anton, yes. Let me just jump back in real quick. Anton is the little fat kid that we used to beat up back in the day and take his lunch money and all that. That's Anton, and now he's grown, right? And I feel like I honestly feel like he got some financiers behind him that's putting him out there. I don't feel like his movement is organic. I feel like he got some money behind him. You know what I'm saying? Maybe some
Yeah.
conservative money. I feel like he's a
Well,
plant.
well, you know what
You know?
major word on the street is
Yeah.
Anton's father passed away and left him a nice little stash of money. And he took
Okay.
that, and then he also made a nice stash on content creation. So he's not, I'm not saying that, he's a Nepo baby per se, but there's a
Mm-hmm.
lot of rumors out there that kind of like Master P. When Master P's grandfather died, he left Master P about what, 20 grand, and Master P
Mm-hmm.
flipped it into No Limit Records and built the
Yeah.
empire that he has now. That's the same thing I'm hearing about Anton. But what Anton is doing is that he's making it seem like he grew his money from corporate America and from doing content creation. Master P in every single interview would tell you the money I got to start No Limit mostly came from the streets, but it mostly came from my grandfather. And when he
Yeah.
left us, when he passed away, because he was a veteran. So Anton is fronting on his money, and
Yeah.
Anton got a wife at home, and he walking around with all these chicks because he got money, and he probably a trick.
I'm sure he's a trick. We know he a trick. You can look at him and tell he a trick. That's a whole other conversation though. But I see where you come from. I hear that. But I mean, I just still think that there's also other people saying that, there's some conservatives behind him that's funding him. And if you just if you want to know who's behind somebody, watch who they don't criticize.
That's true
You know what
too.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah.
And Corey is 1000% right about that. He will never criticize conservatives. You know what I'm saying? He will never criticize the white men that are behind the oppression of black people, even on the show. When Corey put it out there, he said, well, why won't you criticize white men or whatever? He said, I'm not here to do that. That's exactly what he said. These are his words, not mine. And he does this all the time. I just want to talk about the street aspect of it, though, also for a little bit, because look, I'm from the street. You know what I'm saying? I'm legit now, but I'm raised in the hood. I'm from Brown Sub Projects down here in Miami. And, a lot of people are talking about the body language and so forth and so on, and why this happened, why that happened. I just want to put it out there, man. Like, yo, like Dee said, I think earlier, where I'm from, bro, like, yo, if Anton was really big and bad, like he's claiming he is now, on the show, he was like, oh, I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a tough guy. Right now, though, if you listen to him, he just came out saying he would have whooped Corey's ass if Corey would have touched him. He said that.
No, he should have never let him get in his personal space.
Right. He talking about how, oh, Corey, y'all couldn't see it, but Corey was shaking. He was shaking like a
Once he went
bruh,
from what
like
he
he
was
talking
saying
about
to his
I want to
face,
say.
that's fight time. Like that's
I
what
want
he
to say
did.
right.
something.
He took it to another, from one level to another. Everybody's looking for the escalation, saying what Corey should have did. That's
I want to
exactly
get.
what he did. He moved
I
from where
want to
he
get
was
my
at to that
final
man's
thought.
face. No,
Oh,
men to men don't get to men's face. That's when throat punches are thrown. So
exactly. Get your
if
final thought and
Anton
let me
was
come
really
back here.
about
Go
that,
ahead.
and
Go
he
ahead.
was really gonna
I'm gonna
fight,
get to my. Oh,
that's when he would have known as a man that he's being threatened, because now this man is right directly in your face, telling you to say the
Exactly.
thing, the disrespectful thing that you said to make him get in your face. He didn't choose to do that. Also, I think that people are overlooking the fact that Corey clearly stated why he brought Anton on the show in the beginning of the show. So I think a lot of people's perspectives on the whole conflict are warped because of at what point in time they watched the whole hour. So people started watching that 30 minutes or 15 minutes. But if you watch the whole thing, he clearly said there are many things that we don't agree with about each other. But I thought it would be good for us to have a conversation. So he alluded to a conversation they had prior when they spoke on the phone. He alluded to them having a conversation there. Anton didn't come there for a conversation. Corey would ask him a question. Anton would deflect or not answer the question and
Exactly.
say, we'll get back to it. He would answer a
Mhm.
question for clarity, and then he would insult him personally and say something about Corey. So why are you coming on that man's show to tell him what you feel about him, and then and then to deflect when he's like, "Yo, so explain more. Give me an example." So he called him a
Right.
hypocrite. He called him out of his name. He said he tried to pin his cast members against him. And then Corey did call him a sucker, but then people saying, "Oh, he's a comedian." So yeah, that could have been considered a joke. So why I
Hey,
think
Sean.
if you on a comedian's platform, if he says that, you're supposed to expect thick skin. So if that says that, oh, you kissing ass, and now I'm gonna say you SMD. No, if you say that's another man, most men, that's gonna cause a fight. Anton
You
knew
gonna
what he
get
was
cracked.
doing. He
Hey,
knew.
I was say, Sean, did y'all? I'm not sure if y'all discussed it or not. Did y'all remember when Anton made the derogatory term about the woman that got unalived from ICE?
Oh yeah, he
Yes,
said F her.
I remember. That was some
Yep.
sucker shit.
And the
Right.
Fuck
whole
that
room,
woman.
all the air left the room when he said that. You know what I'm saying? So he was throwing out things to make himself go viral.
Yeah, that's what it was. His whole agenda the whole time.
And then he said he didn't have the capacity to respond. So it's like you constantly, he was trying to trigger him, just doing different shots,
Yeah,
and saying
and
different
then
passive
after that, he
aggressive
said
things,
something
which
else
was real
slick.
feminine. So that's why
Yeah,
Corey said, I feel like I'm talking to a bitch because he was
because
doing
he
passive
was.
aggressive feminine things that men don't do to each other because by a long time ago, things would have went up. It would have went up a long
Right.
time ago because men
Right.
don't talk to each other like that.
Classy, go ahead. And I want to let Kiddo get in because he hasn't said anything yet. Then we're gonna wrap this up, y'all.
Dee Dee, thank you for having me on the show.
No
Everybody, gentlemen, for giving y'all opinions. I'm going to say something funny. I think it's sad that I still have that picture of Darlene in that Ice Tea power cover still.
I
But
do
with
too.
that being said,
Classic. It's classic.
with that being said,
I got the record behind me.
well, see, with that being said, listen, at the end of the day, Corey, man, hey, bask in this, dude. You got all the views. This is your viral moment of 2026, whether it went good or whether it went bad. You won it. You got it. This is going to be talked about for a good while. Good job, gentlemen.
Yeah,
Have a blessed day.
for sure. Bless up.
Thank you,
Bless up.
Classy. Kiddo, what's your thoughts? How are you?
I think everybody missing the point that Anton's real agenda is to go around and deal with all the people that he felt like didn't give him credit when he felt like he deserved it. If you look at all the
Ouch.
people, if you look at all the people he attacked, it's all dudes that he considers in his mind to be tough guys, but they all doing podcasts. He's the fat chick that lost the weight that wants to get the revenge from all the dudes that wouldn't talk to her. That's it.
Yeah.
And that's why everybody think he's on host shit because he is on host shit. He walks
Facts.
around with security that he knows is going step for him. He ain't going to do shit. And I'm a fan of him as far as financial and everything else. Like I'm conservative, but the whole shit that he does is annoying. He's 43 years old, and all he talks about is the woman around him. Who brags about hoes at 43? Somebody who never had none. That's who does it. There's no
Yeah.
way I wouldn't be nowhere without my wife with another woman with me and expect this shit to look normal. But he wants that attention he never got. He was a lame, and it's cool to be a lame. It's cool. That's what niggas who've been out here doing the nonsense try to tell you. It's cool to be lame, bro. But now he gets money and he thinks that getting money unlames him, and it doesn't.
It does
Everybody who
not.
see through the rose-colored glasses knows you were a lame. The way you talk, you were lame. The way you walk, you were lame. The way you dress, you were lame. You were in Coogee in 2026. You were a lame, bro. You were a lame, bro.
Yeah, like I said, it ain't no to me. Like I said, I hate like when I'm watching this platform. You know what I'm saying? I hate when he starts to like resort to talking about his body parts, and you can see the other panelists are starting to get uncomfortable about it, but they're not gonna. They might have something to say about him offline. I don't know, but you can see how uncomfortable they are when even the live the first when he came back from doing Corey and he lateraled over to his own platform. You can just see how uncomfortable his panel was, and you could tell that they disagreed with probably some of the things he said. But Anton was in his bag, you know, quote unquote, at that moment. So you really couldn't bust his bubble or bust the air out of his balloon by saying, Anton, you know what, you could have done this different. I don't know about this because one dude that really stands up to him is
2K.
2K. And I
2K.
had a conversation with 2K. And 2K, you know what I'm saying, you know, he really wanted to say what a lot of us were saying, but he really can't. And I'm not saying that he's being controlled or whatever, but it's just that, you know, it just really, that's why for me personally, I do horribly with authority. I'm a horrible person, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to authority figures, especially those who abuse their power, because If something is not right, or if I have a question, I'm going to raise my hand. I'm going to shock everybody. And what I think is what everybody wants to say, I want to know. And I just don't do well with people like that. You know what I'm saying? I'm not the best leader, and I'm a sorry ass follower. And so, that's why I tend to work better by myself and get input from people, but I would like to work better by myself. And I couldn't do that with him. If I was to join his back chaser or get on his panel, he would expedite me, or he would extradite me so fast off of his platform, because it's just that, like I said, I know the hypocritical things he says. That's why I can speak to Corey and Anton. Again,
And
people don't know who Anton is, so all they saw was what he said on the damn panel, and he spoke so eloquently. When you speak very well and you saying bullshit, people tend to give you a pass.
he would never he would never allow you around him because everybody on Anton's panel got a job, bro. That's why they don't say nothing to him.
That's
Everybody
true
on
too.
Anton's panel got a job. They got to go to work. They
Yeah.
need that bread that he's tossing them, and that's why they comfortable, and that's why 2K comfortable showing up, because he get a military pension and he got his own platform. Every once in a while he disappeared because they get into it, because he'd be like, "You on bullshit? What are you talking about, bro? Like that ain't even factual." They abuse the shit out of the dude Slimmy on the show. Molly's a whore. I don't give a damn what nobody says about none of that. She's a
Church,
weirdo. And
church. Yep.
and fucking and Q, he's even been getting out his neck lately. Like, man, you keep
Yeah, I
pandering for
saw
these
that.
broads on the show, and I in no way, shape, or form have
He
any
told
type of
Q,
malicious
"Fuck your
intent.
friends."
Right?
Who does that shit? Like, I don't. I mean,
Nah.
He called him
You don't know
gay.
who the fuck
He
I
did the
know,
exact
and you
same
telling me
thing.
fuck my friends?
He said
Wow.
he did the exact same thing he did to Corey to Q, but he doubled down on it because they was on the internet. And my thing is, once Corey covered that distance and said, "Say it again," if you really about all the shit you talking about, you'd have stood up and said, first of all, why you so close to me, and second of all, said
Yep.
you suck dick and then fired on him. That's what you would have did. But what you stood up, you walked up, let's go outside for what? We're right here. Corey
Hey,
don't
Right.
need the internet.
hey, yo,
And
Corey
today
DD.
sits
he's online.
talking
Suck my
crazy.
dick. Suck
Talking
my dick.
crazy.
He's saying it with all his chest. Suck my dick.
He's
Why did you
saying
say
that.
that
Yeah.
there? The
On here.
man practically begged you to say it there. You ain't say it there. And what that exchange showed me more than anything else is that Anton don't hang around no black people. He got black
he hang
black
around black
employees that's
people.
on his show. But he
He
ain't
hang,
got no black homies that he
Hey,
hang
hey,
around. But you don't say that
hey,
to no
he
yo,
hang
black
around
man.
black people. Let's be
hey, yo,
honest
hey,
though.
hey, yo,
Y'all,
hey, hey, yo, DD. If this whole situation with Anton and Corey don't teach you nothing, it'll teach you one thing, and I guarantee you'll feel me on this. If you ever bring, like, not what you're doing right now with having these having us via video calls on here on your platform, not these. If you ever have or decide to start bringing people into your personal space to do interviews, the first thing is know who exactly you're bringing in. They know what's good about them, what's bad about them.
Facts.
Internet rumors, internet facts. You know what I'm saying? Know exactly the person you're bringing in, because that's exactly why Corey lost this fight by default. If y'all watch wrestling, I'm gonna tell you how this fight went. If y'all watch wrestling, it's like you seen the wrestling match where the referee has his back turned and the heel hits the face with a low blow, and then he hits him with his finishing maneuver to make it seem like everything was done correctly. Pin 1, 2, 3. That's what Anton did. He hit Corey low, and then picked up the victory. It wasn't a clean victory. Do your research, DV. If what I'm saying to you, you already know, and you've known this a million times, and disregard it. But know who you're talking to, and who you're interviewing, and who you're dealing with, because this is going to be the biggest lesson any content creator needs to freaking understand. Is that was the only thing that I agree with Anton on, is that he knew exactly how to counter Corey. He was a genius at that.
that's
Other
what
than
Agreed.
that,
he
other
won
than
the
that, I
battle.
unsubscribe fucking with that nigga, man. I can't fuck with him no more.
Nah,
I'm done
He
with it. You know what I mean? It's a
he
wrap.
a mark.
he won the battle, but I guarantee you, in the long run, once he's the cop dad off Snowfall. He hates everybody involved because he was never that cool. He hate. That's why he went at Gil. That's why he went at Mark Lamont with Joe Button. That's why he went at Corey. If you look at everybody he beefs with, they're all people that got fame and notoriety outside of podcasting and have it now in podcasting, and he's jealous. How dare you come into my space that I earned, because you're not even punk ass comedians, punk ass rappers. I don't respect this. I don't respect that. If they shut down YouTube today, you don't exist.
He claims he claims he's trying to get Umar Johnson on his platform.
Umar
Oh yeah,
Johnson.
one last thing too. One last thing, if y'all didn't notice this, you know that him and Charleston White had some issues, and apparently they got him squashed or they got it resolved by Charleston coming on his platform. They had they had a 2-hour conversation and did their thing. But as soon as Charlie Kirk got unalived, and you saw I don't know if y'all saw the footage of Charleston going ape shit on him and disrespecting Charlie Kirk and blah blah blah. Anton didn't have nothing to say about it. Anton was an advocate, a fighter for Charlie Kirk. Anybody said anything bad about him after his unalive, Anton went in their ass about it. As you know, he supports white men. He never brought up the fact, he never got at Charleston for what he said about Charlie Kirk. He never did any of that. You know what I'm saying? Because he knows that Charleston White would destroy him. Unlike what's his name? Unlike Corey, Charleston White is a whole nother breed.
Yeah. And he'll get with him and he knows secrets and he's with the bullshit because Charleston White would have said.
I think Charleston White knows a lot about Anton, so that's probably why he had to make amends with him. Yeah, I feel you on that too, yeah.
Charleston White would have stood up. Now, first of all, Charleston White wouldn't have disrespected Corey like that. But Charleston White, if he did, would have stood up and said, "I said you suck dick," and he'd have pulled that pistol because Charleston White actually comes from the cloth that he say he come from.
Yeah,
and
that's what he was supposed to do.
that's my only
why I
beef.
can't respect it.
That's my only beef because like I said, I like his content. I eat the meat, I spit out the bones. I like his content. But when he comes talking that tough shit and that pimp shit, man, you're a weirdo, and everybody who's watching you knows you're a weirdo. And I promise you, being 43 years old with hoes is not an accomplishment, especially when you got to pay for them all. It's not at all.
I
be wondering how the chick Carrie, how her husband be feeling about him flirting with her online. Like, man, I'd have snatched her ass off that damn camera so quick. This nigga talking about you gonna fall in love with me and all that, man. That's the last show you doing. What the fuck is you doing, bro? You're married just like I am, and I'm not no podcaster. Stop talking to my wife like that. He's a
what's
weirdo.
so crazy is that Carrie's husband's in the industry, you know what I'm saying? So he ain't really home a whole lot. So I don't know. You never know how
I got nothing negative to say about her. I'm saying he's a habitual line stepper. He like to push boundaries because he feel like his money will get him out of a lot of situations that it won't. If Corey wouldn't have had no restraint, that situation could have went a lot different.
Right.
I commend Corey for having restraint though, because
if Kraig was there, the whole thing would have been different.
It was at his spot. Anything would have went down. You got all kind of liability issues. People not looking at that. And this man is inviting you to the back. You never follow somebody who's being aggressive to you where they telling you to go.
Why am I going with you? Why am I going with you? The conflict's right here.
That's what I'm saying.
The last person to follow me anywhere, and I'm talking about when we was younger. I ain't gonna get into that. Don't follow me nowhere. If I tell you to follow,
facts. If you know, you know.
Right? Yeah, don't follow me nowhere. Because 9 times out of 10, I want you down here for a reason. Don't follow me nowhere, bro. What is you doing?
And you got so many game goofy niggas out here. It went over everybody's head that they don't get why Corey didn't get up and follow this dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, wow.
You got a real cool platform, yo. I like your. I got a platform that I'm rebranding, in the next month or so. But I like your platform and how you bring people up and let them kind of get it off. You know what I'm saying? I like what you do. So much love to you.
I'm gonna jump off. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you. I mean, you definitely got the follow from me, and that's just. I mean, I can't watch.
Yeah, me too. I subscribed last night. Matter of fact,
I can't watch it no more, man. I can't do it, but I appreciate y'all. Y'all be safe. Have a good day.
Well, yeah,
be safe. Appreciate you, sister.
Be safe.
Appreciate you.
Safe. Y'all take care.
All right, easy.
Oh my God.
Let's see how I get up again.
Y'all know how to get off? Hold on.
Yeah, I think I do. Oh, and everybody, make sure y'all check me out too at Manversations 2020 podcast at Major Gauge. DeeDee, we want to have you on, sister. I've been trying to get hold of you.
Yeah, my podcast. I'm rebranding. I'm changing the name, so I'm not going to give a name yet because I haven't thought of it yet. But I have the platform. I just got to do a lateral name change. But I wouldn't mind having you on as well, just for perspective, because it's not going to be as ghetto and as crazy as what Corey and Anton be doing, but it's just some solo conversation. So I hope to stay in contact with you some way somehow.
Okay. Let me know.
I'm gonna hit you up. I'm gonna hit you up where do I reach you at that you check? Which one do you check?
I'm glad you said that I check.
I reached out to you before, but I'm like, she must be on check that one.
My email, it should be in the description of this video.
Okay, bet that up.
Description, it should be in there.
I'm gonna email you, Major Gage. All right.
All right. Take care.
Good meeting you, sister. Bless up.
You too.
Yo. I think
I got you. Oh Lord, listen, shout out to everybody. I was supposed to do some more clips, but that was enough. That was enough. Shout out to everybody watching, everybody who supports the channel. I appreciate y'all so much. Listen, hit the like button on your way out of the building. Let me try to go through these super chats because I hate to not read the super chats. But I try to let the conversation flow because it's kind of interrupting to do that. But when it's a lot going on, but I'm gonna try to get back to some of the super chats that y'all sent. Make sure you hit the like button, y'all, because I want to definitely read them. But I appreciate everybody who supports the channel in that way, whether you like, subscribe. I also saw a couple of people join the membership. Shout out to you for that. Thank you for that. JD Nor, I hope I'm saying that right. I hope I'm saying it right. That Coogee wearing something made y'all street hero blink. Oh my God. Okay. Thank you for the super chat. Successful MD says the Anton is on a video wearing a hot dog suit. A hot dog suit? What you mean? Oh my God. A hot dog suit? Really? Okay. That's interesting. Let's see. Thank you, Successful MD. Successful MD also says Anton misled his following, just accepted fraud. Wow. Thank you, Successful MD, once again. Russell Red 9893 says Anton was supposed to be on No Jumper, not on 5150. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you, Russell Red. JD Noir, I hope I'm 89. I hope I'm saying your name right. Y'all sound so hurt. It's pathetic. Y'all street hero, Corey, didn't want to go in the back off camera. You MFers cannot change this. Corey blinked. Shout out to JD Noir 89 for the super chat. I appreciate you. See Urban, thank you once again. See Urban says, it'll be interesting to see Anton try that with Tommy. Since he does study people, these brothers are making valid points. Passive aggression and gaslighting can only get you so far. Thank you, C. Irvin, once again for the super chat and for your support and for being here. I appreciate you. Let's see. Shout out to Tyrone Dalton for becoming a member. I appreciate you for that. Thank you for becoming a YouTube member. I appreciate you for the support. Let's see. I don't know how many more we have, y'all, but I want to try to get through them. But make sure you guys are hitting the like button. Please hit the like button before you leave the building. Hit the like button. Hit the like button. So I see everybody was commenting. Everybody, we have mixed opinions, but that's okay. That's okay. Russell Red again says, respect to you, Dee and your panel. I agree. Anton Daniels is a grifter. He will do anything for clout, views, a bag, but he is a big version of Charleston White. What do y'all think about that? Thank you for the support once again. I appreciate you. Let me see. Hopefully I can get to all the super chats, but I appreciate you guys for supporting. Illuminati 19843 says Anton, like me, message to young blacks is invest in crypto, AI, real estate, oil, precious metals, learn cybersecurity, Python, your own business, liberals, political black and white people against you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate your perspective. Pointing out the things I guess that Anton talks about and Anton promotes. Is that what you're saying? Thank you for the super chat. Illuminati again, thank you for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate you. If I don't get to all of them, y'all, I do appreciate you and everyone who supports. Illuminati again says the woman, Mika, that's what you're trying to say, is Anton's beautiful assistant. His wife knows all about her. Wake up, young people. Anton won hands down. Manage your emotions. Shaking my head. So he's agrees with Anton. I guess he's saying Mika is his assistant, which I think Anton did speak on that. Thank you for the super chat. White Nose Chronicles says, not about Corey being late. It was about Anton pushing white supremacy talking points about Black people showing up late. Anton speaks to his YouTube audience. Thank you for the super chat, Wise. What did it say? Thank you for the super chat. Elam says, any man that responds to words is mentally weak. We are only to respond to the imminent threat of violence, like when Corey got too close. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Nazi Naz 97 said, it's not black and white. Anton don't literally say that. Literally say that SMD. He said, you SMD the Black community, alluding pandering. Was he saying that to provoke Corey or to prove a point intellectually? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Illuminati again says, alpha males understand Anton position. Anton is highly intelligent and professional Black man. Take emotions out. You can learn a lot from Anton. 100. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Unk be streaming. Thank you for the super chat. Says he brought up the woman because Anton virtue signal. Unk be streaming also said Corey over 50. Why would he attack on first insult? Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Unk be streaming also says, now everyone is a first offense butt kicker. Most people say it again to make sure it wasn't a misunderstanding. Everyone fight first gangsters now. That was funny. That's funny. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. That was funny because listen, you be streaming again says Corey wanted to fight when he put that mic down, showed his teeth and said, say it again. Anton knew it too. That's why he didn't say it. Thank you for the super chat. Once again, I appreciate you. I think I've heard dudes say it again and they start fighting. I've seen it. So, I mean, I guess it just depends on a person, whether you really want to fight or not. Sometimes you have that moment where you think about it and you say, wait a minute, shit, if I do this, it's going to be a problem. Successful MD says a comedian is still a man. You are fixated on titles. Thank you, Successful MD, once again. Yeah, I definitely seen it where dudes will say it again, and then that's it, But maybe he had a chance to think about it, and he's like, do I really want to do this? Sometimes you gotta think. Sometimes I think you need to think for a second, because sometimes you don't, and then you just end up there. Thank you for the super chat, Mr. Research. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat, Mr. Research Politics says, my appreciation to DeeDee. This is for your beignet. I think I'm saying that right. Thank you. I appreciate you, and I appreciate you being here and supporting the channel. Big Keat 510 says, if Corey was white, Anton would have been different. Oh, wow. Thank you, Big Keat 50. Urban, what is it? Tactical Asylum? I hope I'm saying that right, says DeeDee. I was wondering if you were from NOLA. Yes. Do you think Corey would have got in Cam Newton face like that? I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. If Corey would have got in Cam Newton face like that, I don't know. I can't say. I don't know, Corey. I don't know if I don't know you personally, I can't say what you're gonna do. I can't really determine that. Like, I don't know. I mean, if he had triggered him, maybe he would have. I don't know, y'all. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Successful MD says, now you want to act like you're without emotion, but get hyped on this panel from the videos of women that DeeDee shows. And everything is not a debate. Too many lack true intellectual understanding. Successful, who that was towards. It sounded like it was towards somebody. Thank you once again, Successful MD. I don't know if that's the last one, y'all, but I just want to try to get through the ones that were here. But shout out to everybody who supported the channel, y'all. Everybody who gave a super chat or cash app, I appreciate you if I don't get to all of them. What the hell says, Happy New Year, DeeDee. 42 pounds lost. Oh, congratulations. Shout out to you. Thank you. I appreciate you and hope all is well. Upward man says, salute D, I love your channel. Thank you. Anton was correct in his logic pertaining to the initial discussion. Anton is wrong as he likes to project himself as above others. Anton's arrogance is his how do I say it? Hubris. I hope I'm saying that right. And Larry J said floor. I think he was trying to add to your comment where you say you can't come in a man's house and ish on the floor. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. I think that was it, y'all. But oh Lord, this is probably my last time talking about this. How when Anton went for a different motive. Yeah, I probably won't discuss this again. You know what I mean? I just wanted to get y'all thoughts on it, and y'all definitely gave y'all thoughts. Once again, I will say, listen, I thought the interaction could have been better, in my own opinion. I thought we could came away with a better conversation and just a different perspective. Because as it is, and y'all know I always say, listen, you don't have to always agree with what somebody is saying. You can certainly disagree with each other, but it doesn't have to go left. It doesn't have to always be a knockout, drag out fight. You should, because we're already looked at as people who don't know how to communicate with each other or have issues. And, we're looked at as the ones to just go off and, you know what I mean? Just get ratchet and I just think that that whole interaction didn't make it look good for either guys, either of the men, in my opinion, any of them. And so I just think we could do better, and I'm not a man, and all that's why I don't try. That's why I let the men talk, because they could, to me, I think they better understand the nature of men. That's why I like to have dudes come on the panel and I let them talk. I'm not there to interject and push back, because what I'm pushing back for, it's not my husband on there, and I'm not pushing back on my husband. So I let them talk. That's the whole point of having them have a place to say what they need to say. I'm not trying to push back. If I have a point I want to make, of course I'm gonna make it, but I'm not there to go back and forth like that. You know what I mean? I'll give my perspective, but I want to hear what they have to say, because I'm not a man. I don't deal in male spaces. I'm not on the streets fighting and punching men, and I'm not aggressive like a man. So I can't really tell y'all like, oh, what I'm gonna do. I don't have too much to say on it. That's why I like to ask, and that's why I like to get the male's perspective, because I want to hear how men think and how they would respond. Every man is not the same, but you want to hear what the men have to say, how they respond in these situations, because they've probably been in the situations, I'm sure, more than I have. I haven't been in no fights with a man. You know what I'm saying? I've never went toe to toe with a man. I mean, in elementary school, I had a fight with a boy for jumping in front of me in the lunch line, and that's about it. I don't fight men. So I don't know the aggression. I mean, I understand it, but I'm not a man. So that's why I think it's better coming from a male's perspective and them giving their thoughts on all of these things when it deals with other men for the most part. I talk about the nature of women because I'm a woman and I'm more familiar with that. But when it comes to men, I think it's better to hear what the men have to say. Everybody not going to agree, but the men get to tell their different perspectives. And then I could sit back and kind of listen and take heed to what they're like, kind of listen and kind of, navigate what they're saying and understand it. So that's why I do that. But yeah. That's where I come from with that. But yeah, but listen, thank y'all once again for giving me y'all thoughts. Shout out to everybody in the building, everybody who's watching, everybody who supports the channel. Make sure you continue to support the channel. Watch the videos that posted, or just leave a comment, a like, and share if you can. If you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed but you like the content, hit the subscribe button. It is free to subscribe. Also, turn on your notification bell to be notified when I upload new content. So I'm going to get out of here, y'all. I appreciate y'all once again. Y'all be safe out here in these streets, and I will see you in the next one. Mwah. I'll see y'all later. Bye.
It's DeeDeesReactions. DeeDeesReactions.